welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, September 14th. I'm J.E. Skeets, back here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, the dancing machine at the wedding, Tass Mellis.
You betcha. Good to see you again, Skeets.
What's up, Tassie? We got the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, rocking the Ginobili jersey, Leigh Ellis.
Amigos.
Amigos. And over yonder, making the magic happen here, in the midst of a construction zone, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are.
Always improving, Skeets. Always.
Hey, I got to say, I pulled up. Leigh can attest to this. I said, look at this. Look at this house. Look at these windows. Look at this, I don't even know what you call that detailing there.
Board and batten, I believe it's called.
Batten down the hatches. Looks great.
Thanks. Yeah.
But they're still working out there.
They're still working. But they're on the other side of the house today, so it's not going to be as loud as yesterday.
Oh, yeah. No bunts.
It was pretty bad.
No bunts was, I saw someone say it was like an Astros game. There was a lot of banging.
Yeah. A lot of fans out there for the Phillies.
JD, do you need a roof guy at all? Or is your roof okay?
You know what? You can keep your roof guy because...
Yeah, you're always up there.
I don't need a roof guy coming every 3 months to my house.
Okay. I offered.
I don't know. These guys look legit. Like they're
the best.
working their ass off.
Roberto. You know what? It's just such a joy when they show up. They just showed up. They show up like early.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and they take a lot of pride. A lot of pride in their work. I love it.
That's great. It is looking good. I can't wait to see the finished product. They're getting some good weather here in Atlanta too to work out.
That's why it's happening this week. It was supposed to happen last week.
Oh, the rain.
Shitty.
Gotcha. Well, shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. We appreciate that. If you haven't, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Comment away there in the stream team and share the show. Let's get those numbers pumping before the start of the season, all right? I'm talking subscriptions, likes, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I know.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah, I feel like we're dropping 10 shorts a day suddenly. My man TK is doing all of this work, and JD, of course. So let's help those guys out. Let's get those likes and subscriptions going. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com if you've got good cues, basketball related or not. Also encourage you to check out all the content we've already produced here. It's only hump day, but I feel like we got a couple shows up. Mondays, Is This Good podcast with Matty O, asking the hard-hitting questions. We debated eating food off of someone else's plate. Leigh, quick reactions. Good or not?
Well, it depends.
Quick reactions, Leigh.
Context. If it's your kids, yes. If it's an adult, probably not.
Okay. Picking up friends and family from the airport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I knew you'd be team.
Love that. Yeah.
And listening to podcasts at 2x speed.
No.
Do you even listen to podcasts?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
What?
Isn't that incredible?
Just a strong
This guy's been
no.
podcasting for a decade
I'm a
plus.
serious XM man. So I like my 90s on 9. I like my Air Nation. I like
DJ Bobby Bob.
Spider Harrison on...
What about English Nick on the river?
Nah, I had to get rid of the river, I'm afraid, now, because I'm paying for Sirius, so, you got to mix it up. There's some great stations out there.
But you don't listen to any podcasts. This is amazing.
Man, I need a break from a podcast.
You know there's other podcasts about other
but
things.
have you listened to any of them? Like, wow.
Oh, jeez. All right. So I guess, what are you? I guess
No good podcast out there.
you're just dead. Our podcast good. No, says Leigh Ellis. Yeah. What are you doing?
I have listened to podcasts. In fact, there was a massive case. I think you know about this in Australia recently, about the Teacher's Pet podcast.
Lenora has listened to this, yes.
Well, she may have seen, I'm sure she has. He was just convicted of the crime 40 years later, thanks to a podcast.
So you know of this podcast?
I know. I listened to that one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, instead you're calling in to the radio stations on Sirius with your top 5 U2 songs, according to Leigh Ellis.
Yeah, I've tried to get on the 90s on 9, but no response yet. So I'm emailing them again.
It's ironic. You have to hope the people that work at 90s on 9 are listening to podcasts so they can reach out to you and get in contact with you.
Yeah. Where's downtown Julie Brown? I mean, she must be listening to our show.
That's who it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
She's on 90s out of 9.
That's the OG?
Yeah.
Wow.
OG, yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, see?
Been in the game for years.
Oh, she has. Still got it,
what
too.
What about the Sugar Ray guys on there?
Yeah. What's his name?
Mark McGrath.
That's right. Yeah, and Lisa Loeb.
What do you mean on there? The hosts?
Yeah, they're hosts.
They host their own show. Yeah, Lisa Loeb does one.
But talk radio, or they just throw in a song?
They're DJ.
Remember this way back throwback?
Oh, Casey.
Yeah.
Casey Kasem's.
Oh, Casey's still on the 70s.
He's alive?
No,
Casey? No.
They just have his tapes.
They just play him.
They just play Casey Kasem on the weekends.
Yeah.
Number 3
Yeah.
of 1975.
I thought like Seacrest took that over. Or
Well,
something. For the new ones, I
he
guess.
did for the American Top 40 or whatever
okay.
it was. But yeah, it's just the 70s on 7. So
It's
they just
awesome.
Because I wouldn't go that.
No, it is because when you're driving around with kids and they can hear Shaggy's voice on the radio, it's like, wow. I said,
And the only place you can get that is Sirius XM.
Sirius XM. They
You had me confused. I thought you
home
meant
of
Shaggy
Shaggy.
and Sting. You know.
Well,
but
they
you
even
meant
had
Shaggy
a
cartoon.
shout out to the Australian station 3DB in Australia from the 70s where they used to simulcast it. That was amazing. I was like, oh my God. It's great.
You think people will be doing that in 100 years from now, firing up Lee Ellis podcasts? And
Maybe. Why not?
talking.
They live forever.
yeah, that's true. I do. I know. I know. There's some diehard TBJ/starters No Dunks fans that have like old blank episodes. Or
There's some
whatever
on
we call
Reddit,
them.
I think.
Yeah, Reddit. I think
Yeah.
some people were dropping them in the Discord, No Dunks Discord.
Yeah.
I'm just a Delilah guy. She's still doing her thing.
Really?
Yeah. She's like 40 or 50 years.
Who?
What? You don't know who Delilah is? You've never taken
I know the
advice from
song.
Delilah?
Lila, no.
Delilah in your ears?
What do you mean
lo-
advice? She's like
gives
a
she's
like an Ann Landers type.
Ann Landers. No, she's Delilah. She's a one-name radio personality. You don't compare Delilah to anybody.
He doesn't even know.
She's
He's
been doing it
old.
for 40 years.
Where though? Here in
Yeah,
Atlanta?
no. She is. You don't know where she is. She's simulcast on every radio network
She's
in
everywhere.
the United States.
She's everywhere and nowhere at once.
She's in the Northwest, actually, which is kind of surprising. But Delilah.
Well, where do you listen to Delilah?
Nowhere.
Where?
Glad we got
You
to
can
the
find her everywhere.
Okay, get us
I
back
just wanted
on.
to say an old person because you guys were rocking Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
Everybody listening to this
Downtown
podcast
Julie
like, who?
Yeah.
Radio DJs?
That's true. That's true. Other shows. Tess, like we said, had the No Bunts episode yesterday. Did a deep dive on
yeah.
why you're a fan of all these new rules.
Love rules.
Jesus.
I love rules and saws and hammers.
Yeah.
We were just fighting through a lot of construction. But the new rules are good in baseball.
Okay,
They are
well.
genuinely good, even though some are mad. Don't change my game. I'm clutching my pearls. I'm
Mad at
clutching them.
Any changes in any sport, though,
Yeah,
aren't they?
you get over it. Yeah, exactly. It's good for the game.
All right, well, check out No Bunts to hear why Tass really thinks that for these pitch clocks and banning of the shifts and the larger bases, all that. Also, yesterday, Trey and Graydon had a new F1 podcast over on No Breaks that has its own separate YouTube feed and podcast feed. So if you're a fan of the Vroom Vrooms, check out that. And finally, next week, Survivor 43 premieres on Wednesday, September 21st, which means No Buffs, our Survivor recap pod, returns the following day on Thursday, September 22nd. We will be discussing every twist and blindside and vote and awkward dump that happens out there on the island. So check out and subscribe to No Buffs, which also has its own YouTube feed and Apple feed and Spotify feed. Just search for No Buffs Survivor 43. I know you're all in. I heard you say something.
Yes, I love it.
Are you going to be in on Survivor 43?
I've done my Survivor.
You don't have to
stretch.
listen to the podcast. I won't make you do that. But
I really enjoyed the Survivor in the shutdown season time, but getting into it just in regular season stuff with everything else going. I'm a soccer coach this year.
oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll be doing hopefully some other stuff basketball wise. So can't squeeze another thing.
Well, I'll
onto
tell
the
you what you're going
calendar.
to be doing.
What?
We're forcing you to do it. We are going to fire up, and we'll have a lot more details on this in the coming weeks. We're going to be doing a Survivor fantasy pool.
Ooh.
So you got to pick your team,
Right.
Your contestants, and then
Okay.
there's a lot of other fun things you can do with it.
Okay. Well, the best part of any
so you're
Survivor or any fantasy is coming up with your team name. So that'll be fun.
Okay, well, start thinking about it.
Can we add aqua dumps to the pool? Like,
Oh, if somebody takes an aqua dump on
Yeah,
camera,
your
you get
team.
like 10 points or something.
yeah.
Well,
We
I'll
need
make
to
an
do
email to Chris, our guy there. Again, we'll have more info on this over on No Buffs. You won't have to be locked in for the first episode. It's going to start as you get to episode 2. So
That part
have all the
is
details.
cool. What JD's bringing up, the random things we can add
Yeah.
as bonus points, like whatever the term is for somebody climbing up in a tree and doing a spy gate.
Spy shack or something. Yeah. We can get very creative. You're right. So if you have ideas, like we already have somebody cries on camera, get some points there. People say like cliche, like I'm probably going home or something, all this stuff.
I like the cliche thing. Yeah. It is what it is. If they say it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
That's points right there.
No buffs. We are pumped. Survivor 43 coming back next week. No buffs premieres for us there on Thursday, the day after, and then we'll have all the details about this new fantasy game that we are forcing Leigh Ellis to play with this year. Okay.
I'll probably win, actually.
You probably will.
Yeah. That's the way it goes in fantasy sport. I mean,
the one thing is with this, you're going to have to, you will have to make some decisions every week. That's right. It'll take you 5 minutes.
No, it's your lineup change. That's
exactly. Okay, so we have a fun No Dunks podcast here today. We're going to be debating future NBA Hall of Famers because we just saw a couple go in. Specifically NBA players, Tim Hardaway and Manu Ginobili. That's why Lee's rocking the jersey. And then our guy, Rob Peterson, he had a great article about future Hall of Famers, and we thought, man, we can make that into a fun podcast. We're going to get to that in a second. But before we do, we had some big news in the NBA. Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver has been suspended 1 year by the NBA following the completion of the league's investigation into allegations he fostered a toxic and hostile work environment. That's to say the least. Sarver was also suspended from the Phoenix Mercury, WNBA team, which he owns, fined $10 million, and must complete a training program focused on respect and appropriate workplace conduct. Any thoughts on this? Is he getting off very easy in your mind? Are you surprised, not surprised? What do you think, Leigh? Or, sorry, Tass. I'm looking at Tass. We'll get to you in a second, Leigh.
I think the NBA can't want Robert Sarver to be representing one of their 30 organizations after this investigation. So why not come down on him harder? I think they wanted to, but they didn't take it upon themselves to do it. I don't think there's any question that his etiquette here, what he has done, the way he has treated certain types of people as second-class employees and second-class citizens would have gotten him fired if he was a slightly lower-level employee. Right. Undoubtedly. But he's the owner of the team, and I think he's not fired because they just didn't have the guts to do it, and really because there wasn't anything on tape. I think that's what happens in a lot of different parts of our society. If he was caught on tape saying a lot of these things...
Like Sterling.
Yes. We say Sterling because that's the only instance where somebody had to give up their ownership, and that's the sort of the threshold, the bar where he said, hey, do not hang out with black people because they are not like us. So we have to throw in, that caveat. But what is the threshold? Sarver essentially did, similar type stuff. Yeah. He can't stop using the N-word because he says I can repeat it. I can continue to repeat it. He can't stop doing that, and he can't stop treating women like second-class employees and second-class citizens. And so at the end of this investigation, one of the statements the NBA said was basically there wasn't intent on his part, on Robert Sarver's part, that was motivated because of racial animus, racial hostility or gender-biased hostility. How the hell do they know that? Yeah. They can't know that, and it's kind of dumb for them to assume that. And again, just to come back to the point, this is a sort of a progressive league. I say sort of because they're not firing him, and so they want
forcing him to sell.
Yeah, exactly. It's forcing him to sell. They want it to seem like that, but they aren't doing it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure, again, stepping back, I'm sure they're saying we don't want him as part of our league. The people under him don't want him as their leader of their organization, but they didn't get rid of him, and that's what it really comes down to. It is strictly a slap on the wrist.
What do you think?
Yeah, fining a billionaire $10 million is nothing. Suspending him for a year is nothing. Yeah. So ultimately, the NBA is like, we're okay with the racist behaviour. We're okay with the misogynistic behaviour because you say there's no tape, true, but he admitted using the N-word several times. That's the only times he's admitted using it. Imagine how many other times he has used it. And
this is over like 18 years.
Exactly.
This is a long time.
I think ultimately the NBA, with Donald Sterling, he was an older guy, didn't have much support. They were easier to shove him out. They had the votes.
Yeah. Everybody hated him. Yeah. The other owners is what I'm really
And I think they probably canvassed the other owners to see if they could get the votes for Sarver. But Sarver, is like, well, if you want to go to court and hash this out, I'm more than happy to do that and air some dirty laundry on the other owners and on the league. And the league didn't want that fight, so instead they came out with this. It's not a punishment at all. It's nothing. So if you're an employee of the Phoenix Suns, right now you're like, well, nothing happened. What's going to change? Why would it change? And if you're an owner as well, and I'm sure there's some other nervous owners out there who have behaved like this. We know what happened with the Mavericks a few years ago. Mark Cuban got a $10 million fine, which again was nothing.
Well, it's the maximum they can even be fined.
But what it ultimately says is you get a pass to behave like that when that is totally unacceptable. As you say there, Tass, if that was a lower level employee, you can just can them straight away.
Yeah. The wealthy play by a different set of rules.
If you're white and you're rich,
and that.
You basically get away with whatever you want. And the NBA is now saying we're actually okay with that because we haven't really got any power to kick him out. But and this is the problem with that. Even Adam Silver's statement said yesterday, they thought it was the appropriate punishment. Not a single person could possibly believe that. If you want your league to be progressive and ahead of the game and saying, we don't accept racism, we don't accept misogynistic. He made a pregnant woman cry. Yeah. A pregnant woman cry and feel bad for herself. So
I think almost even worse is the investigation found other instances of workplace misconduct by Suns employees that weren't even Sarver. Because he creates this environment where it's like...
If he can do it.
Exactly. And then so this spreads across your total organization. And heaven forbid you are... It sounds like a female employee of this team, either the Suns or the Mercury, or obviously, a person of color. And so it's or anyone. It sounds like it was brutal for everyone. Yeah. This guy also just sounds like a monster.
Because he's wealthy and powerful and doesn't have to face consequences. That is the classic case right now. You've seen it so many examples. We had a president for 4 years who did that. So when you have never been held accountable for behaving that way, why would you stop? Why would you feel you're going to get held accountable? And why would anyone think this person's actually going to get punished?
Well, it'll be interesting to see a year from now when he's back being the owner of the Suns and Mercury, and how will that be handled by the employees of both of those organizations, the players, both of those teams? Will he prove in these training, programs that he takes that he's a changed guy?
Of course not.
He's going to change in his 70s. I find it highly unlikely. And he has to go through, and I guess the people in the organization have to go through these seminars, but what is that going to do? It's not going to do anything. And I know there are people out there saying, well, you can't say anything anymore. I mean, sort of that's a general consensus amongst a lot of people. This whole cancel culture thing, you're just going to cancel the guy. Well, it's just about treating people with a little bit of frickin' respect, with the baseline of human decency, and that's what he can't do. And if you're an NBA owner on one of the other 29 owners, I think this is a very sad day that you're looking at one of the other owners who's just unable to treat a whole lot of people, women, black people, and other than his little boys club, with a little bit more respect. And that's the unfortunate part. I mean, he can be running a little boys club in a backyard somewhere, but he should not be employing hundreds of people. I think that's what the investigation just proved what Baxter Holmes' ESPN report said. To a T. Yeah. Really.
Sam Amick at The Athletic, he had an interesting thought in his article here today. Go to theathletic.com/nodogs if you want to read it and get a subscription. He wrote, as currently constructed, the setup between the NBA and its teams, it's clearly lacking the kinds of checks and balances that might prevent these sorts of disasters. So the idea, he wonders, do there need to be more eyes and ears from the NBA side of things within some of these organizations to keep a bit of a little watch of what the hell is going on in some of these workplaces.
Yeah, but again, you want the billionaires in there as the owners, and then they come in and they don't expect to have to play by the rules because they don't. And then when they do these sorts of things, they don't get punished. So you can stand there and say, well, we're going to enforce these rules, but then you have so much documented evidence of horrific behavior and there's no accountability. So I don't see how things are going to change. I think it's just a matter of time before another owner, another organization has their own issues like this, and it'll be the same thing. We just go, well, they didn't boot Sarver out. Mark Cuban survived as well. So the other person's going to get away with it as well. It's just, every organization, I'm sure, has got a few skeletons in the closet. Anyway, but the Donald Sterling one, Adam Silver was just new to the league at the time, and again, older, no one liked him. easier to sort of boot him out.
Yeah.
But now you can't do that.
And on tape. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. But I mean, what's the difference though if it's on tape or if he admits it like Sarver has here? I mean,
well, listen, whenever something's on tape, everyone can interpret it for the way they want.
I know, but I'm just saying he admitted it. So, he's saying, yep, I used the most derogatory term I could use multiple times.
But his defense, which is insane, is like, I'm just repeating something I heard. It's like... Yeah.
And the difference is with Cuban wasn't himself accused of anything, but he was leading a toxic workplace environment, which...
He's responsible still for it.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's hear from everybody out there in the stream team and your thoughts on Sarver. Did he get a slap on the wrist? Is it fine with you? Let us know if you're listening to the podcast or watching here live. Let's get to the actual topic here. This could take some time because we got a lot of names to tackle here because, as I said, over the weekend we saw a bunch of players go into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. It was their 63rd class. He had 16 enshrinees, including 2 NBA players, Tim Hardaway and Manu Ginobili. Did you guys watch any of... I don't watch it live, but I like to go watch their acceptance speeches or whatever you want to call it.
It was...
Ginobili's was great.
Pretty noisy in there with Manu. He had the Argentinian support. That was great. They were screaming and hollering out there, but it was great. I just loved his speech. I mean... He talked about how he basically didn't even expect to make the NBA. He got a call and he thought it was a joke, and then he's playing for the San Antonio Spurs and he wins all those championships. And Manu's obviously had success with Argentina as well, which was very, very meaningful to him. He won the Olympic gold medal there in 2004 in Athens. And, I mean, it's just great to see. I really, really... Manu's top 4 for me all time. So
top 4?
Yeah,
wow, not top 5. The rare top 4. The Rushmore. You could have said Rushmore.
Yeah, he is. He's on my Rushmore. So I thought it was great. Tim Hardaway as well. Loved seeing him in there. Really well done.
Well, the Athletic's Rob Peterson, he did write an accompanying sort of piece, and he did this last year too, and he sort of updated it this year, looking at like active players, right, and wondering where they fall in line of their Hall of Fame credentials. Are they future Hall of Famers? Are they locks? Are they in the mix? Or are they on the outside looking in when it's all said and done? So that's what we're going to do here on today's No Dunks. We're looking at active players only. I want to make that very clear. So we're not talking about retired players. Vince, Pau Gasol, Mark Gasol, Dirk, Tony Parker, he was at Ginobili's thing there, Dwayne Wade. I would say probably all of those guys I just listed will be in the Hall of Fame. I guess maybe Marc Gasol's one where you're like, but
he's
whatever.
Got the Spanish stuff though as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, where are Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire? I'd like to know that. If Tim Hardaway is going in, Sean Marion and Amari.
Sean Marion's not a lot. I don't think either of those guys get in. Sean Marion's in my Hall of Fame.
Yes.
But I don't think he gets in. And Amari Stoudemire is... he's sort of Chris Bosh without the championships and additional All-Stars. A shortened career.
Sure.
Not a lot of playoff success. I'm not sure Amari gets in. I could see both those guys missing.
Okay.
If I had to pick one of the two, I think I'd have Sean Marion.
Well, I'm glad you brought up my Hall of Fame. I wanted to know how you guys are tackling this when we go through these active players. Are you looking at it like you said, this is the Tas Melas Basketball Hall of Fame. He's in mine, and you'll make the case why, or he's not in mine, and I'll make the case why. Or are you like, well, so-and-so's in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. That means this guy should be in or not be in. Which one are you doing, or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I think you have to stand out and be remarkable to get in.
So you're going to be a bit of a hard ass.
Well, I'm going to try to be, but I'm also going to at times acknowledge whether or not I think they get in, regardless of my opinion.
Okay.
Because I think there is a difference. I think you can be a super standout for something, or even if it's only a short time. But then there's other guys, just the longevity of you just sort of earned your way in because you were there forever, even if you weren't necessarily remarkable in the highlight or standout sense.
Like Tim Hardaway. Let's go back to him for a second. I mean, to a lot of people, he's not a Hall of Fame player. Right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years of the Run TMC guys without tons of success. I think they won one playoff series, but then he also did have some success in Miami, but also they got bounced a couple of times early in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean...
Just a lot of people say, Tim Hardaway, a perfect example of the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
But maybe not in the Hall of Fame. But there he is. He's in it. And this started happening with Mitch Richmond going in.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not using the Hall of Fame as a barometer. That's no fun.
Right.
Because you can.
Because then we'd be.
Frankly, everybody we talk to. You said Sean Marion, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Not a lot of individual accolades whatsoever. Great counting stats.
Yep.
But even him
got a ring.
If
that's right. Dallas wasn't it?
Snuck in the Dallas ring. Great defensive player.
He was great.
Did some work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, in my Hall of Fame. But if you're looking at individual accolades, I don't even know if he meets the baseline.
Sure.
Marc Gasol. In my Hall of Fame, but I don't think he even meets the baseline. So baseline is what? I guess it's Tim Hardaway now. It's Mitch Richmond. Those are sort of the guys in terms of individual accolades. But again, Sean Marion, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Should have made a lot of All-Defense. But
that's crazy about him that he didn't make those.
Yeah.
And he was like,
because he was a son for so long. But he was good, covering a bunch of positions.
But you say, like, individual accolades. Ginobili just went into the Hall of Fame. He's got, 2 All-Star appearances?
Yeah.
That's 2 All-NBAs, if he's got all the rings.
But that's a testament to him taking a back seat.
Yeah. He talked about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have
done it.
Could have played a bigger role, earned more money, scored more points, but ultimately did sacrifice for the greater good. But he also won in Europe. And he won for Argentina.
Yeah, that's true. The international flavor.
Yeah, huge.
Which will definitely help.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, he's probably a lock anyway, but it could help a Marc Gasol as well.
Well, and that's the thing, Marc got some of that too. So, but no college success for those guys. Obviously, they didn't play in college.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get to the list here. Again, active players only.
Okay.
We're going to tackle these alphabetical. We'll see if we move with some pace here because there's a lot of names. I got a list of 33 names.
Oh, my God. This is the ultimate. Hey, what about this guy?
He's got something to say.
I got a flight to catch, man.
Okay, let's go then. Let's go. Okay, first name. Alphabetical, again. And sound off in the stream team, if you're joining us live on YouTube, whether you think they are a lock for the Hall of Fame, a maybe for the Hall of Fame, or a not making the Hall of Fame. I want one of those 3 boxes. I'll try and keep track of how many locks we come up with. Okay. LaMarcus Aldridge, first on our list, 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. Leigh, you go first. How do you feel about Aldridge?
Longevity, consistency, very solid player.
Top 50 in NBA career points, 48th.
But just doesn't scream Hall of Famer to me. Just doesn't scream it. But you mentioned the 7 All-Stars, 5 All-NBA. Yeah. He's getting in. He's going to have the accolades and in terms of the points and just the counting stats. But I don't. What do you remember about Marcus Aldridge? Mid-range assassin, solid, consistent veteran. But
he had that one playoff series where he went back-to-back 40s, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. In Houston on the road. Yeah. And that's it. What else do you remember?
Oh, he signed with the Spurs. That was big.
That's what I mean.
I'm with you, man.
This is, to me, why he doesn't get in, because he never really took a team even close to a championship by himself, ever. He was with Lillard there. He went to San Antonio. And, again, his teams are never like, remember that run that the LaMarcus carried his team on. So
to you, in a Hall of Fame, nominee or whatever in trainee, you do want sort of peak at some point, super peak success, because this guy's averaged 19 and 8 over 1,000 games. So there's the longevity part.
Yeah, and you think about that draft. There was Bargnani first. I think Tyrese Thomas second. And then who came third in that draft? Was that
someone forgettable?
Not Adam Morrison, was it? Was that
one?
I don't know. Anyway, you think about Bargnani hasn't played forever. Tyrese Thomas barely even had a cup of coffee in the league in the end. And LaMarcus will probably still be on a roster next season at some point. So I absolutely respect and admire his
in
career.
That draft's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I do.
He's the best player in that.
If you want a solid, consistent Al Horford type vet on your team, absolutely. But as a player who's he was so close to a championship, I never really felt that with LaMarcus Aldridge, and that's why I say no for mine, but I say he's getting in anyway.
It was Bargnani, Aldridge, Morrison, Tyrese Thomas, and then Sheldon Williams.
Sheldon.
Yes, and then Brandon Roy.
So he went number 2, right? He got traded, though, for Thomas.
2-4,
He went to the Raptors, were debating Bargnani, Aldridge, and they went with the correct pick and the Andre Bargnani. Tass, what do you think about Aldridge?
Ooh, no, he's not getting in. And I feel like I'm crazy when I say that, because he played for 16 years. And as you said, he was an all-star in 7 of them. So nearly half of his years, he was an all-star. He was an all-NBA, which is kind of surprising looking back.
Center, wasn't he?
In 5 of those years. So a third of the years. What more could the guy do in terms of regular season awards? At the same time, yeah, he's not very memorable in terms of his postseason runs. He made one conference finals. That was with the Spurs when Zaza Pachulia stepped under Kawhi Leonard's foot, and that could have changed things if if there isn't a step under the foot situation there. I know the Warriors went on to roll in that series, but maybe Aldridge gets a ring. Maybe things change. Maybe we're talking about a different situation. But he was never number one guy on a team for a championship team, as Leigh said. This isn't the Hall of Very Solid. And God, there's nothing more solid than a guy who scores 20,000 freaking points. And most guys who score 20,000 points in the NBA are in the Hall of Fame. There are a couple caveats in your Tom Chambers. But most of those guys...
Jameson, I guess. Right?
Jameson, yeah. Do a shot for Antoine. He's not getting in. But that's really the extent of it to me. That's the extent of the Marcus Aldridge story. He is one of those guys. He's your Paul Millsap of this generation that we just won't be thinking about. Ridiculously solid. But... it's kind of hard to put him in. And I hate saying, if there's a weak crop a few years from now, maybe he gets in, a weak crop of Hall of Famers. Yeah. It's disrespectful to these dudes who are really, really, really good at their craft to say that. So I shouldn't have said it. But I will say, if there aren't superstar, Hall of Fame guys that are absolute locks like your Duncans and all that, he could get in. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing that sometimes guys get in when there aren't those, hallmark names.
I mean, Chris Bosh is in.
Yeah, but championships.
I know.
And more All-Star appearances. I can't believe looking back at Bosh's career how many he had. But yeah, to me, that's a decent one. To me, Bosh is really Amari Stoudemire with juice, and that's why Amari Stoudemire doesn't get in. Okay,
next one. We're saying I'm with you guys. By the way, I'm going on Aldridge. Yeah. Hey, look, we got to be tough here.
Yeah, we do.
This next one should be easy. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's only played 9 NBA seasons.
Wow.
He's already on the top 75 anniversary team as one of the greatest of all time. 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 2 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, 1 Most Improved. He doesn't turn 28 until December. He's just hitting his prime is the scary part. I know his team just lost in Eurobasketball. He
got ejected too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yes, he could never play a single second from here on out. And he would be making it. He'd be first ballot like that.
Easily. The only debate for me is, does he become the greatest international player of all time?
Wow.
And I think he's on pace to do that because Hakeem Olajuwon is mine right now.
Ooh, over Dirk even.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. Okay. But I think Giannis is very likely to have more MVPs, more finals MVPs, more championships as well. Exactly how many, I'm not sure. But let's say he wins 4 championships, then he's the greatest international of all time.
Okay.
So that's the only debate for me. He could never play again, and he's in.
Okay.
Yeah, the only debate for me is if he mentions the starters or myself in his Hall of Fame speech.
Wow, that's right. Because you encouraged him.
I did. We can roll back the tape. He said when he accepted an award, he thanked me personally for giving him motivation. So I wonder if he remembers the little people that helped him along the way.
You can't present him though because you're not in the Hall of Fame. That's the other problem.
He might make it. He might get past a Gowdy Award.
Our podcast in the podcast wing. Sure, why the heck not? I could technically be in. We heard Swin Cash shout out our man Jimmy Ice from the league this weekend. So there's a chance. But obviously he's in. It was tough to see him get tossed in that Eurobasket game. But
he clocked him, though.
He hit him.
It was funny because if you watch the play, your eyes aren't on that play.
I was confused. I tweeted.
I saw you tweeting about it.
What's that? Yeah. It is weird, though. That was a second unsportsmanlike foul. They have technicals. They have unsportsmanlikes. So if they just gave him a tech, he'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's really weird. They have two texture toss. Anyways, we'll get to some Eurobasket later on in the week.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
All right, so Giannis, he's in our first lock.
In.
All right, next one, Carmelo Anthony. Hello. 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA. Never made the first team. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just like a little odd.
Though,
I know, but I think Melo have one first team in him. Top 75 too. Only one of 2 players to ever win an NCAA title, a scoring title, and a gold medal. The other, Michael Jordan. Crazy. So what do you think? Melo a lock to you, Tess?
He is a lock, 100%. You get top 10 in scoring, you're in.
Right.
It is crazy the turn that has happened because before he went to OKC in Houston, there was he wasn't a lock. I'll just put it that way. He wasn't. That was 14 years into his career. We're talking about like 2017 at the end of his Knicks run. He wasn't a lock, but he turned his career around. And a scorer and longevity, I mean, he's like an Alex English to me in the Hall. And, enough accolades plus top 10 in scoring. It's kind of hard to keep him out. Never found a lot of playoff success, obviously, but yeah, that's enough. It's just enough. He's, top 10 at the most important thing in the game. So it's kind of hard to keep him out.
Yeah, 28,000 plus points. He ranks 9th all time. He could pass Shaq here. I mean, I don't think Melo hasn't said he's done, right?
No.
He's playing out there.
Yeah, he doesn't need a lot to pass Shaq. So
no, he only needs 300 or so, yeah.
Yeah, so he could do that. What do you think, Leigh?
Yeah, he gets in. I mean, the 3 gold medals, but only 83 playoff games. I think that's the knock on Melo. He was never really able to do. He had one conference finals with the Nuggets in 2009 when he was the star player on the team. But those other accolades, the college as well, because he only had one season at Syracuse there, didn't he? But he won the championship. Yeah, so he's got that. He probably doesn't get 30,000 points. He needs another 1,800. I don't think he's got that left in him. That would probably take him at least 3 seasons. So he won't get there. But it'll be interesting to see in 5-10 years' time if he still is in the top 10 all-time scorers, because he probably drops down when Durant and James Harden, a couple of those other guys, Steph, Chris Paul, maybe even, probably not, but Chris Paul's actually a long way off. But so Melo gets in. I mean, pretty good career. You would like to have seen him do something with the Knicks. I mean, they had that season where they lose to, with the big Roy Hibbert block was sort of iconic from that, because the Knicks had a good season and they should have gone to the conference finals, but they didn't. So
2012-13, when he is that year, the league, he was leading the league in scoring.
Yeah. And he got 1 MVP vote, I think, that season. That was when LeBron should have got the unanimous, but Melo got one. So as far as a scorer,
I remember
Gary
Washburn.
Washburn
did it.
As far as
Gary,
he's been a great scorer throughout his career, but just never had, again, a memorable extended playoff stretch where it's like Melo's team's going all the way this year.
Is he a lock for you?
He's a lock. Yeah. You said it. I mean, you're top 10 all time in doing the most important thing in the game. That means you did it for a long time, and unfortunately you maybe didn't have the playoff success that I'm sure he wishes he had. He's in. Melo's a lock.
Yeah, he's a lock.
Yeah. Okay. Your favorite player, Leigh? Current player. Bradley Beal.
Rajon Rondo? Oh, Bradley Beal.
3-time All-Star.
Yeah.
He's only made 1 All-NBA team, which was 2 seasons ago. He's already played 10 years, which seems a little crazy to me. And, I mean, look, the guy, like Melo at least over the last couple of years, over a 2-year span, 1920, 2021, averaged nearly 31 points per game. What do you think, though, Leigh? Is there any chance Beal will make it or should make it?
Well, will he make it? Yes. Or could he make it? Could he make it? Yes, because he's already at 14,000 points and he could get the 20 to 25,000 range. But he needs more accolades and playoff success, and that's the problem with him. Where he just signed a 5-year extension. That's not happening in Washington if he barely makes the playoffs at all. So he would only get in if he was to hit that threshold, which is, again, I think if you get 25,000, you are getting in. But as he is today, he's not getting in based on what he's achieved so far. And I can't really see I can't see the case that he's got right now. The only case that could improve is the points if he goes to another team and then has like 3 or 4 playoff runs and gets the finals and wins a championship. But in terms of just putting up points, you need to do more than that for mine.
Right. Too soon, not enough playoff accomplishments here. That's it.
Right.
I can't.
And it's unlikely he's going to be like the star guy to lead a team to a title or 2 or
especially
whatever.
Where he is right now. And he's in the prime of his career. This would be the time to do it. Now, if he has a Renaissance 33, 34 age run with another star where
like Sean Marion.
They go to the finals. I was Sean Marion. He scored so many damn points. He scored 17,000 points in his career. And it is crazy. I'm going to eat it right after I said that Bradley Beal is going to surpass that, no problem. That dude's going to score 20,000 points easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's probably on track for 25.
Yeah.
But okay,
I guess we have to change that.
I was going to say, at a certain point, 20,000 points can't mean always, wow, you're a lock to be in the Hall of Fame. If more and more guys are doing it.
With the 3-pointer.
With the 3-pointer.
That's the big thing. Yeah. For a while, it was That was the benchmark. But yeah, it's time to change.
It's gonna have
There's
to
only
bump up.
23 guys who have made 25,000 points or more, though. So, again, that's now. 10 years, it'll probably be 30 or 40.
But that's a jump from... That's 5,000. We're talking...
Ray Allen didn't score 25.
That's a lot. That's a lot, man. Okay. Beal, we're saying nah.
Nah.
Yeah. Like I say, he's played 10 years. He's not as young as I don't know, I sometimes think. Because this guy's a little younger. Devin Booker.
Ooh.
Similar to Beal when you think
Very
about it.
similar.
3-time All-Star. He's made one All-NBA team. It was a first-team selection. That was
this season.
Last season, yeah. He's got the finals appearance. Finished 4th in MVP voting, if you want to throw that in consideration. Now, he's only played 7 full seasons. Booker has. He's only going to be 25 when we tip here this upcoming season. So he is significantly younger than a Bradley Beal. But not a lot of individual accolades. But does that bump him from a nah to a maybe? Or what do you think? Go ahead.
He's on pace. I would say he's on pace. 2 All-Stars were replacements. Does that come into it? Probably not.
Oh, no. It never come up.
You would say over the Suns' last couple of seasons that they should be getting closer to a championship, some prolonged success. He's on pace, but today he's not in. But if he can get to the finals, if he can establish himself as a true undisputed All-NBA guy, which I think he can, but you have to do that over like 6, 7, 8 seasons, then he's going to get the points.
So the argument is that's starting now.
Yes.
He's first team All-NBA.
That's right.
Who's to say he's not racking up 3, 4, 5 of these in a row?
And that's why I say the trajectory is looking good for him, but he needs to do it season after season after season.
Are you a maybe or a nah then? I can't tell.
Well, for today, I'm a no.
Okay.
But I think if he has a couple of injuries like a Grant Hill or Tracy McGrady or Penny or someone like that, then his career could...
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But you feel more confident in the chances of Booker making the Hall of Fame than you do Bradley Beal?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, okay. What do you think?
He's a maybe for me. On the right trajectory. And I hope he does make it because he's going to pull up in one of his classic automobiles. It's going to look cool. He's going to slip out of that front seat, get up there on stage and make a great speech. That's it. I think he has the absolute right path right now that he's on. He's got a very good chance to make it.
Need probably a ring in the mix, and then these couple.
I don't think you need a ring. We're talking about a lot of guys without a ring that get there.
Yeah, it sure helps though.
Of course, it helps.
It really helps.
Like if Melo had a I mean, he's a lock anyway.
Yeah.
But if he had the ring, it's like, well, there's not even a debate.
No.
There is a smidge of a debate with Melo.
I think this next guy, a ring really helps his case, but I'm interested to hear you guys. Jimmy Butler.
Oh, I love this.
Okay. 6-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. He won a Most Improved as well. According to Basketball References Hall of Fame probability, I got that little thing there. He's got a 71.5% chance of making the Hall, which is like 105th all time. And Rob wrote in his piece, while being outside the top 100 sounds less than exclusive, every Hall eligible player from 90 to 120 is in the Hall, with the exception of Sean Marion.
This is the Sean Marion show.
Yeah. So Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah. He's not going to get the 20,000 points. He's not a big-time scorer, and he's an oldish guy, 32 now. But he's
he's 33 today.
Oh, he's 33. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Happy birthday, Jimmy. Cowboy hat off to you, sir.
Look, drinking a Michelob Ultra to you. Wait, is that the beer he drinks? I can't remember in the commercial.
Why?
Let me know in the stream.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it's Ultra.
Yeah. Okay.
Two-way
It's a
player.
runner's
He likes.
beer.
It's a runner because there's no calories.
There's no
But he likes a flavorful coffee, but a very unflavorful beer.
That's a good point.
Look, 4 All-NBA, 5 All-D. I think the two-way player helps him.
Yeah.
I think those sorts of things. 6-time All-Star, but he doesn't really play All-Star games, so I don't know if they count. Probably gets in because he's had some decent play. You feel he's a playoff performer. I do.
You're damn right.
Yeah. So I think he's got that, even though he obviously doesn't have the championship, that bubble run. I mean, he nearly dragged without Goran Dragic and without Bam Adebayo, against the Lakers, did well. What does the bubble mean? Who knows? But Jimmy was huge. He knocked off the Bucks, of course. He was big there. And he was very good this season. So he's one of those players that I trust in big games and big moments. Won't really have the stats, though, to support his case. So this is going to be more like, that guy was a legit baller rather than just a guy who accumulated stats like LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay, so where do you have him?
I have him more than a maybe, but not a lock.
Okay.
Is there another?
Well, let's hear what Tass.
I would say very, very likely.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, he's a lock.
Ooh.
He's got the narrative.
Wow.
He's got the story. He doesn't have the counting stats, but who cares? He's Jimmy Butler, and that run in the bubble is almost like a championship ring to me. It was that good where he led his team to the finals against the Lakers. It was that good at this while being the man. You know, that's why it was good. He was the guy. Obviously, the iconic leaning over the end scoreboard there, the advertisement after dropping 40 on the Lakers. He is a playoff performer. He's a badass. Now, has he sort of produced that image himself by how much he talks about working out at 2 and 3 in the morning and Mark Wahlberg and all that? Yeah, but that's sort of part of it. But he has absolutely backed it up in years past here. I mentioned that bubble run, but he was also a 27-point game guy this past season for the Heat. I mean, he's peaking right now. They only went to the conference finals. So, yeah, not a whole ton of playoff success. No ring, but enough for me. And, he's a late bloomer, and then the defensive part helps. I mean, he's a guy that any Hall of Famer who's sitting there in their jacket would say, I want that guy on my team. For sure. So, it's one of those. Yeah. I mean,
that's the crazy part. He's been an all-star in 3 different teams now. Chicago, Minnesota, short stint there, obviously getting them into the playoffs, and then now with Miami.
Still not with Philly, I guess.
Yeah, not with Philly.
He was out, the second half.
Not there very long. Yeah. But I think, if he over the later stages of his career wins a ring, even as like a second or third, hell, even like the 4th best player on a team, it like stamps him for a Hall of Fame. And I think even without it, I like the two-way play argument that you were bringing up, Leigh. I think I have him as a lock. I see Trey in the stream team saying he just wants to work hard and make the Hall of Fame. Man, and then I hate to do it, but I'll tell you, if Tim Hardaway is a Hall of Famer, then Jimmy Butler is. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, if you're doing that, that's just a no-brainer to me. All right, I can't believe it. I'll go lock.
There's gonna be no room. There's gonna be no room in the Hall of Fame.
No, it's gonna
be so many people.
Yeah, JD, can you get your construction guys to build another wing at the in Springfield at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Fame?
On it.
Okay, this one shouldn't take long. Steph Curry, a lock.
Lock it in.
The only unanimous MVP in league history. I'll just give you this to you because it's fun. 2 MVPs, 2-time scoring champ, 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 4 rings, Finals MVP, finally got that. And of course, top 75.
He was waiting on that.
He needed that. Yeah, he needed that Finals MVP, the greatest shooter of all time, to get in. Okay, so Curry.
Yeah, good. Good basketball player. Did you see the $1 billion deal that it looks like he's going to sign with Under Armour, or a lifetime deal with Under Armour? That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dollars.
A lot of armor. Okay, Curry. Next one, Anthony Davis.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is fascinating because he was named to the NBA 75th anniversary team. He's an 8-time All-Star. He's a 4-time All-NBA first team. He's got the championship. Bubble Lakers. Gold medalist, too. What do you think, Leigh? Is Anthony Davis a lock for the Hall of Fame?
Well, yes, but not in mine. He's getting it. He's walking into the Hall of Fame because of all the other stats and stuff there. But for me, I keep waiting for him to really grab the league by the scruff of the neck and say, "This is my league for 3 seasons."
Yeah,
and it just doesn't happen. He's injured. Something's going wrong.
He does it for like a couple weeks.
Exactly, and you know that the durability through each season is the biggest question with him. He's never played 82 games, and the playoffs are, if you take out the bubble, now you can't because he's got the championship. That's where he kind of like sneaks in anyway because it's like he was good in the bubble there. But I just feel almost a little bit like Vince Carter, where you're sometimes like, just do more, really make it undeniable that your entry is in there as far as a player, not the stats. Like, be one of those guys where it's like, when Anthony Davis was on the court, there was a couple of seasons there where he just was not going to lose the game. He's improved his game. He's got a really nice mid-ranger. He's got the defense as well there. But he's never, to me, I've picked him to win MVP probably 2 seasons in a row, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And every time I'm like, when is this guy just going to really dominate? And I don't feel he ever has. So for mine, no, but he's going to walk in.
What do you think?
This is so tough because he was named to the top 75 anniversary team. And then, the Lakers sort of bow out. He wasn't leading the team. When you step back, you zoom out, he's played 10 years in the league. He's only made the playoffs 4 times, which is strange. That's not a high percentage for a Hall of Fame player still in his prime. But at the same time, some individual awards, accolades, 8-time All-Star, as you said, 4-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defense, the big ring, regardless of where it was done. He only averages about 60 games played per season over his career. That's not a lot, but it's enough to get in. So, yes, we're sitting here, and you could hear the disappointment in all of our voices that he hasn't lived up to expectations. That being said, he still has time to go.
Yeah.
He is only 29. He gets to be a 10-time All-Star who's not going to make the Hall. That'd be weird. That'd be weird. So, yes, a little underwhelming, but...
We can be underwhelmed, but he can still be a lock.
Yeah,
and
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
he is.
A lock. Yeah, that's fair.
And this is great. Trey helping us out here is putting up polls for everybody in the stream team to throw their votes on all of these potential future Hall of Famers. Are they locks, maybes, or nas?
Yeah, we should have done that.
Yeah.
Good job, Trey.
Yeah, that's great, Trey. AD, the people say 48% maybe.
Yeah,
so
and that,
not
I think,
a lock in a lot of people's eyes.
So I think that's the thing is, like, when you are the number one pick and you go to the Pelicans, he was a lock for that number one pick, one of those rare guys that's like no one's ever going to take anyone else apart from him in his draft class. You come in with huge hype and huge expectations. It's very, very difficult to live up to that. And imagine he was taken 5th in that draft and he had these numbers, maybe people say, like, he's been incredible, but that number one expectation and hope maybe is a little harder to live up to. So maybe that doesn't mean anything, but I just sort of feel he's never really been in that super like undeniably dominant player for a course of
it'd be cool to
even
see
a season.
like a 2 or 3 year run of him being a top 5, top 3 MVP sort of
and
consideration.
New Orleans, maybe that's flying under the radar a little bit as well.
Yeah.
People point out the Blazers upset. Okay, one first round upset of a team that wasn't that massive favorite to win the championship or anything like that. So
and that's why Rondo gets in for me. He was part of that team.
Spoiler.
He was part of that New Orleans team. But what do you think AD's stats are? Just points and rebounds throughout his 10-year career.
Like averages?
Averages, yeah.
Like
23, 12.
Yeah, I was going to say 22 and 11.
24 and 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Missed a chunk. He missed basically 25% of his games.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it.
80, though, we have as a lock ultimately in the end. I guess Tass and I getting them there. Okay.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan, 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, top 50 scorer in NBA history. There is that. Has he done enough, or does he need to have another, still like a little window here to some cumulative stats, maybe some, fall into a championship or something? What do you think, Leigh? DeRozan,
I think he
lock
misses
maybe
out.
or not?
I think he misses out. I think he's a bit of a LaMarcus Aldridge, like consistent. He's going to burst through the 20,000. He's probably going to finish close to 20, maybe even 25. Who knows? Because he's a very, he takes care of himself and he's a bucket. I just feel that there's not quite enough sexiness about him, and the fact that he was traded away, now it was for Kawhi Leonard, and then the Raptors going to win the championship. One of the big problems with the DeRozan Lowry teams and it was against LeBron, that was just the hump they could never get over, and you just felt that he was in a different class. And that's where I feel about him now. I admire and respect everything he's done. I remember when he got drafted by the Raptors, and I thought, this guy will be a decent scorer. He's really done, he's gotten a lot out of his career, but it's just, you always feel like he's more a third best player on a team rather than, certainly not the number one, not really a number 2, number 3. He'd be great. So he's not in mine.
I have him as a maybe. I think he's a perfect maybe. I could see... a little, still a sustained run here from him, where he's getting his points. He's become an incredible playmaker again. Maybe he gets on the right team. Is it with the Bulls or is it with another squad where he picks up a late career championship as a piece to that team? That would really help him. So I see a maybe. As it is right now, he's probably not. But what do you think?
It's safe to say maybe. I'm in the same boat. LaMarcus Aldridge is kind of a good comparison, where the playoff runs have not been there. They just haven't been with DeMar. I think I can vault him to be a number 2 guy on a championship team next season, like if he was with the right number 1.
Oh, Trey likes the sound of that.
Well, he's got to be with the right number 1. That's the thing. I don't think it's happening with the Chicago Bulls, but... it's kind of hard to just knock a guy who's scoring 20,000 points, 20 points every single year, and say he's not good enough. But yeah, there's a bit of the just didn't meet expectations, didn't write a great playoff story. Now, there's some good stories from this past year with the Bulls. I think if he continues hitting game winner after game winner like he did on New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day, like that type of thing where he becomes this sort of this guy who's extremely clutch, where he's been given the keys, where he had a nice little career turnaround from his 3 years with the Spurs, and he's a big story. Yeah, I'll go back to Melo. I think the Melo comparison is decent. Melo, 14 years in the league. We sat here talking in 2017. There was no chance that people were putting him in as a lock. I think DeMar could take that same path. If he has another good 4 or 5 years, it'd be hard to deny him getting in. And I think people like him as well. So I think there's a chance. Maybe the Alex English comparison is a good one as well for DeMar.
Okay. Right now, we'll say maybe.
Yeah,
we'll
let's
put him
go
as a
maybe.
lock. Okay.
He'll get there, though.
This one is fascinating because he's only played 4 seasons. Luka Doncic.
Wow.
3 All-NBA first teams, made 3 All-Star games, career averages of 26.4 points per game, 8.5 boards, 8 assists. Career averages, again, through 4 seasons. He's got some international, obviously, big games and moments and stuff like that. His postseason numbers in only 5 series are even better, averaging 32.3 points per game, 9.5 boards, and nearly 8 assists in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess there's a couple questions. Should he have been in consideration for top 75? Would that have been insane? And do you have him as a lock for the Hall of Fame?
He's a lock.
A lock?
Yeah. If he stopped today, no, he wouldn't get in.
Right. Okay.
But I'm assuming he's going to have some good years because he's only getting better. He's going to come into the season extremely in shape. He's going to be fit. That hasn't happened throughout his first 4 years of his career. So 4 years in, yeah. If he stopped now, no. But to be All-NBA first team 3 of those 4 years, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's one of the 2 best guards in the league the first 3 of his first 4 years. So the stats say that he's going to be one of the best guards for a decade. So, I mean, a couple of years from now, he could be a lock,
right.
But not quite yet. Whatever. It doesn't matter. He's one of the best guards in the game. And the fact that his stats get better in the playoffs show that he's made for playoff basketball. He's made for this league. He's come on. He averaged over 30 in his 3 playoff runs, and he's not going to stop. No one can stop him. The NBA is perfect for him.
Okay, lock, says Tass. What do you think?
He's locked in already if he never played a game. Yeah,
never played a game.
All his European success as well is going to get him in there. The rare one where you're like, there's no question he's going to get there anyway. So, and the more I've thought about it, he probably should have been included in that top 75. I'm at the time I think I was like, it's a bit too early, and now I'm like, actually, it's not. He's the Shaq of the 2017 for me.
Yeah. I wonder if people would remove AD and Lillard for Jokic and possibly Luka.
If you gave me who you're starting your franchise with, hey, what about this guy? Doncic for me is absolutely there. He's out there playing for Slovenia today. In fact, they've got another game at the semi-final, I think it is. Quarterfinal. He has exceeded all possible expectations already for me. He's going to win an MVP, multiple probably throughout his career. He's already won tons in Europe. So for me, he's absolutely strolling into the Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, the people agree. Something like plus 80% say Luka's a lock. The rest say maybe, and there is somebody out there, I think, I believe 1 vote said, nah.
That's Anthony Davis. Because, again, well, the thing is, again, as I mentioned with the Anthony Davis number 1 pick, now Doncic was the number 5 pick, of course. Number 3 pick. He was traded for the number 5 pick there. But he had that European, is he a bit soft? Can he adapt to the NBA? And he was an absolute bucket from day one. So
David Blatt was right.
He has exceeded expectations, and he's been a professional for 10 years already, not just in the NBA, playing in Europe. So for a guy to have that hype and then to exceed it in the NBA and the playoff success he only won playoff series this season, but his numbers and his performance have been way better than his team's performance. So Doncic is,
Okay, he's in. Kevin Durant, 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA. He missed an entire season. 4 scoring titles, 3 Olympic golds, 2 finals MVPs, 2 titles, of course. Got an MVP, regular season MVP. He's in.
Should we just put it on Twitter that he's not getting in? Just see if he'll
just get some
reply.
engagement.
He would reply for sure. Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, he was upset with his 2K rating for crying out loud.
Yeah.
He was upset with
what was it?
I think he was upset he was a 96 and that he wasn't a 99.
Yeah.
So he would be very upset if we said he's not a future Hall of Famer. So he's in. He's a lock. Rob said in his article, this sort of just like blew my mind. He only needs about 1,800 points to go from 21st in scoring all time right into the top 10. That's one less than one good season.
Yeah.
From KD here, and then he's going to be a top 10 all-time scorer. Crazy. Okay, KD's in. Joel Embiid. We'll make this our last one before we take a break. Joel Embiid, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. He won last year's scoring title. Mm-hmm. Points per game wise. We could get into a whole debate about that.
Yeah.
I know my buddy Grish hates that. He's like, Trae Young scored the most points last year. Why is he not the scoring champion of that year? But what do you think with Embiid, 2-time NBA MVP runner-up too?
Yeah, not a maybe, but not a lock in that extremely likely to get in. He two-way player. He's on the part. Considering he missed his first basically 3 seasons,
Yeah, right.
He's done incredible work to be as good and as reliable now as you can get. Playoff success, not really there for him right now. But if he gets to a finals and is undoubtedly the best player on that team, which he would be, I guess, then he's in. So
you have him as a maybe?
I have
now.
him. Maybe, like more likely than not.
It sounds like if his career ended today, you're not saying he's in the Hall of Fame.
No. Which and again, coming back to the injuries that he's had, he's overcome those. So to get himself into this very, very good position that he likely does get in. So not today though.
Okay, Tass.
Lock him in. I know that's slightly early, but he has overcome those injuries. It is wild. He's played 6 seasons in the NBA. I mean, really like 5.5, and he's been an All-Star 5 of those years.
Yeah.
So he's 28. He's just going to have a few more years of being an All-Star. If we remember last season where he won the scoring title. Sorry, Grish. He won the scoring title. He didn't have Ben Simmons. He didn't have James Harden for 75% of the year. Now he's got a full year of James Harden. He can take a lighter load. He should play in more games. The Sixers should be better off. Talked to Derek Bodner about that on No Bunts, actually, who's a writer for the Philadelphia 76ers, or writes about the 76ers, and he basically talked about Embiid being able to take a bit of a lighter load. So if he can have Harden be the Harden of even last year, like Harden playing 80 games with him, because Harden does play games, it's going to help Embiid's workload. He doesn't play a lot of games when you look back at his career, even though he gets the stats, the per game stats, and he gets the All-Star appearances, the All-NBA accolades. He's an all-defensive player 3 times. Yeah. It will help him.
He's one of the best at his position. He has proven for the last 5 years.
Easily.
Like he's top 3 at the position.
That's why he'll get it. It's just a question of longevity. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had playoff success quite yet. Hasn't made a conference finals quite yet. Mm-hmm. But you got to throw a yet on there because he's coming. He's coming. And the Sixers were smart to throw in a few little caveats into the contract about his knees and about his ankles, but he's shown that he can play through it. So I think he'll have enough games under his belt to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, a lock? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. But, I mean, trajectory, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, but I won't put him there yet. I won't put him there. Oh, that's tough. I got Butler as a lock and not Joel Embiid. That feels weird. But I'll put him as a maybe. Let's hear what the people out there in the stream team think. They say maybe. 54%, and then 42% say lock. So this is a tough one. Tough decision. But let's take our first break because the bandsaws are, really popping off right now here in the construction zone at the Classic Factory. Take a quick break, and there are lots more names to debate their Hall of Fame credentials. Don't go anywhere.
Long-time listeners of the show will know that I sleep on a Helix mattress every night, so it makes this ad read pretty easy and authentic for me, because I take my sleep very seriously. I even took a masterclass on the science of sleep, and one of the biggest factors I took out of that was to make sure that you're comfortable on your mattress, and that's where Helix comes in, because they have mattresses to accommodate everybody, no matter your shape or size. The Helix lineup includes 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress made just for kids. It's a very simple, smooth ordering process online. Just go to helixsleep.com, fill out your details, and you will be matched to a mattress that suits your sleep style and preference. Then it gets delivered to your door. It's a very easy setup, and you can be sleeping better the night it arrives. And my favorite part, Helix stands behind its product. They give you 100 nights to try out the mattress, and if you don't like it, you can return it for a full refund, and they even come and pick it up for you. And I can speak on this being true because I did this. I ordered a mattress, wasn't quite right, so I returned it and ordered a different one, and it was a very easy, comfortable process. Sometimes companies, they give you the runaround after making the promise that you can return the product. Well, not Helix. They are as true to their word as advertised. And right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Just go to helixsleep.com/nodunks. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
Okay, we're jumping right back into it. Leigh took a quick Sir Foster.
That was quick, yeah.
Luckily, you didn't have to take it too.
Live podcasts.
You must have left it in the toilet.
No, of course not.
No, you didn't have time to flush.
I always flush. I mean, that's the thing. Is it someone else's house to not flush?
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
All right, Paul George.
That's the thing. That's someone else.
We're debating active NBA players and the chances they make the Hall of Fame. You got to vote with a lock, a maybe, or a nah. Paul George, 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defensive selection. Leigh, get us started. Where do you put Paul George? He's on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Get people clicking.
The term lock is the tough one here, because I think Paul George, his first 5 years there, he was on the trajectory, no question about it. You know, the playoff battles against the Heatles there, he was a clear star talent. He's a two-way player, all-star, all-NBA, but his career has turned down a little bit by when he went to OKC. I mean, you know, he was okay playoff P. We all remember that sort of moment against the Utah Jazz. And he's been injured, of course, with the Clippers last season. And then the Clippers also blew it against... oh, no, they didn't actually. They... I'm trying to think what I'm thinking of there. Against the Jazz. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, he's in, but his career probably has plateaued a little bit from where it was early on for me. But the All-NBA stuff, the All-Star stuff, and look, he came back from potentially a career-ending knee injury and has still performed at a very, very high level. So I give him respect for that. Is he a dunk champ as well? Did he win the dunk contest in that? He was a part of that three-man team, wasn't he?
Well,
when John Wall.
Didn't it ultimately go to Wall? I don't know.
He was part of the freestyle.
The night. Yeah,
the skateboard this way, the Brent Berry special.
Listen, he's very silky smooth. I love watching him play when he's at his best. One of those players that I do feel is a game changer, but... the last couple of years have just not been his best in terms of how he's. Although he was, I remember in his first season in the Clippers, he was an MVP candidate early on. Mm-hmm. He was. Mm-hmm. So I've got him in.
You have him a lock.
Nah, see, that's the thing.
Okay, we'll say maybe then.
All right, maybe.
Okay, fine.
Maybe, but likely. I would have him in mine.
Keep it cool, Temple boy. Keep it cool. He's trying to rattle you. Yeah. He's trying to rattle you. I know he is. Yeah. What do you think?
He'll flush a toilet in someone else's house, but he won't put Paul George in the Hall of Fame. I get he hasn't met the expectations of his early career. There's a bit of an anti-Paul George bias out there that I think we all sort of live and breathe. But I'm putting him in. I'm a Paul George backer. I know he ran into LeBron a couple times. They got to a conference finals a couple of years ago with the Clippers, which is impressive. So 3 conference finals, twice against LeBron, once here with the Clippers. Enough playoff success for me when you add on 4-time All-Defensive, 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA. Good individual accolades.
That's really good.
It's very solid.
And he could rack up a couple more, for sure.
He could get to 20,000 points. I think him and Kawhi will be a force this season. They will have a great year here in 2022, 2023. He's getting old, though. You know, he is 32. He doesn't have many years left. But, and I don't want to do a what about this guy, but if you're putting Jimmy Butler in, it's kind of hard not to put Paul George in. You know, two-way defensive guy, two-way player.
That's the great there. Who would you rather have, Paul George or Jimmy Butler's career?
Yeah. It's he felt the injury, the bounce back from injury may be a part of the narrative here. Obviously, the broken leg with USA basketball. But I harken back to what he was at the beginning of his career and how he's bounced back, and he's a 20-point per game guy on average, despite missing a ton of time. Again, not an NBA Finals appearance, obviously not a championship. He's one of those guys that should get in, I think, on accomplishments, and he's got a bit of a narrative. But yeah, there's the anti-Paul George. I'm in on him though.
You're a lock.
Yeah, I've loved his career. And being able to watch it, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, I saw Rob write in his article there on The Athletic. You talked about the injuries playing a big part of his career, and that there may be why he's in the near lock position and not like a surefire Hall of Famer, which I think there's some truth to that. It's actually, when you think about it, now he didn't reach the peaks of this guy, but there's a similar career here to Hall of Famer Grant Hill.
Right.
When you consider the play, the style.
Yeah.
Grant Hill had college success. I think that helped him get him in. He had the crazy longevity in the end. Maybe Paul George will have that, but the injuries having an effect on their NBA career. But Paul George has bounced back and could continue to rack up some All-Star and maybe All-NBA selections. Man, this guy, he gets a ring as like a 1 or 2, probably a 2. Then I think it's like he's for sure going. I'll put him as a maybe right now. I mean, he feels like a good maybe.
They were 2-1 up on the Heat in like 2011 conference finals, and he was incredible. He had that huge dunk over the Birdman, which we all remember. I mean, if he took down the Heatles, maybe that would even be enough,
Sure.
So, but that was at that time you were like, this guy is going to be a legit stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 13-14, those were the 2 years.
Right,
back-to-back conference finals, the Roy Hibbert years.
Yeah.
The dunk, the handshake from LeBron. Hey, nice dunk, man, in the middle of a playoff game.
Big 3 to send it to overtime, I think, in that series too. Remember to the side there, deep, long 3,
we went through them on the starters. The 5 teams that LeBron killed in the Eastern Conference that he didn't allow a chance to get to an NBA Finals. The Pacers, the Bulls, even those Wizards with Gilbert Arenas, who says Antetokounmpo is not a whatever. LeBron crushed dreams. That Pacers team could have made an NBA Finals.
LeBron's trying to keep DeRozan out of the Hall of Fame, trying to keep Paul George out of the Hall of Fame. Who else is on his hit list there, trying to keep him down?
Al Horford.
Al Horford, we'll get to him.
The worry is he's not playing a lot of games the last 3 seasons. He's played in the last 3 seasons 31, 54, and 48, going back the last 3 seasons. So I don't know if he does the Grant Hill thing. But his peak was, it was a long time ago, but he's still playing through it. I mean, he was playing 40 minutes a game when he went to those conference finals. And if Kawhi can sort of buoy him to another NBA Finals, like if they get to just even a
people
finals.
are high on the Clippers coming into this season. So maybe they make a deep run here if they can stay healthy. Okay, I like how this broke down with the stream team and their poll. About half the people saying maybe, a quarter saying lock, a quarter saying nah. Polarizing P. Call them that. Not pandemic
polarizing
P.
P.
Not playoff P. Polarizing P.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Rudy Gobert. The big Frenchman, Stifle Tower. One of 3 players to win 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He could be set up here for another one if he vaults the Minnesota Timberwolves into, let's say, a top 5 defense or something like that. He's got 4 All-NBA nods, no first-team accolades, if you care, 3-time All-Star, and 6-time All-Defensive selections. Rudy, will we be chanting that at the Hall of Fame in Springfield?
This is a really tough one for me because Ben Wallace is someone who I absolutely had as a lock in the Hall of Fame, and he made it last season.
Okay, he won 4 Defensive Player of the Year.
But he only had a peak of 6 years max, I think, there. And he's finished his career averages of 6 points and 10 rebounds. Rudy right now is at 12 points and 12 rebounds for his career with the 3 Defensive Player of the Year. And you know what? Rudy may have another one, but people don't like him as well.
No.
And I think that's a factor. It's like, you've won enough and we don't like you, and people are up and down on his defense. I think Rudy gets in. I have him as a maybe, I guess. I wouldn't say he's a lock, but I think he's going to get more just good, solid two-way numbers. Again, solid numbers. Like these last couple of seasons here, he's averaged basically 16 points and more or less 14 rebounds a game. I mean, that's big numbers for a guy who you don't look at all. Like, I was a little surprised to see his numbers offensive quite that high, because you don't think of him as like that. But a lot of it is just pick and rolls, dunks, high percentage looks. I mean, his field goal percentage for his career is 65%. So that shows you that most of his baskets are just in the paint there. And he was 71% from the field last season, led the league. So you might not love Rudy, understand that, but he's achieved a lot in terms of his individual success here. And the 3 defensive players, he may end up with 5 or 6, who knows. He's in.
Wow, it's okay.
Yeah.
Lock.
Yeah.
This guy won't pick. What happens when you see a poll? You just don't vote? Is that what happens? Because you have 3 selections. I've made this very clear.
I know.
Lock, maybe not. Which one would you pick if you clicked on that poll?
Lock. I'm locking him in.
Okay. What do you think? Agree?
He's making it. He doesn't have the narrative. Yeah, he's always picked last in the All-Star game now. Last or second last. Him and James Harden now are the ones that LeBron and Steph just say, oh, yeah, put him at the end. I actually do listen to podcasts, and I heard that joke about James Harden on the Raptors pod with our boy Will Lou, with all the losers. That's what they call their fans, the losers. And our man Alex Wong, Steve LeBron. So I listen to it. That's a banter pod. That's like a 3 or 4 hour pod. That's what this is going to turn
exactly.
into.
We got to start speeding this up.
So put him in. He deserves it when you compare. It's hard not to compare, but you compare him to Ben Wallace. A better dunker than Ben Wallace. A guy who could, he's not a better scorer, not a better post player, but at the same time, yeah, the numbers are there. I kind of put him in, I think of him as 32, 33, but he's only 30, so he's going to have some more years if he stays healthy. He's in.
Yeah. If he wins his 4th defensive player of the year, then it'll be a no-brainer because the only 2 to have done that, Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
And hell, maybe he could get 2 more.
He could end up with 6.
I think he's set up really well to get another one at least this year. You say people don't like him, but the narrative will be there if he gets the Wolves to an elite level, which he has for the Jazz.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, look at this guy. You put him on your team, and you're a lock as one of the best defensive units in the league.
And, and he's going to come in this season with showing people what he can do. He's been pretty good for France too, actually. Out in the
there is that national flavor there. He played for his national team a lot.
Furkan Korkmaz could have taken out France, but he messed up.
Trey says in the stream team, he's Dikembe Mutombo, Rudy Gobert is, without the finger and general goodwill. But
I will say he has to have sort of a second arc to his career. I put him in, and the numbers are going to be there, but the Jazz fell off this last couple of years, but I think that was just an internal, hey, we don't like each other. So I think he's going to come back out with the Wolves and have another run here. Because if it's right now, just what you see, even though the numbers are good, he doesn't score. He's not a scorer. He has to have.
I agree that he's not a scorer, but you can't.
Hold on. Yeah. Ben Wallace, Rodman.
I know, but Ben Wallace had more of an impact. They won a championship.
Well, yeah.
And he was the guy on that end, and you're scared of him. He was just around a better team.
Yeah.
If this team makes the finals at some point, they have to be really good defensively again. I think right now, if he just accumulates more counting stats, then he probably won't get in. But I think he will.
Okay.
He will lead a good defensive team.
I think he is a lock. Hate him or love him, I think he is a lock. Even the accolades are incredible. You have to respect some defensive players.
Absolutely.
And if you're one of the best defensive players of all time, then you have a good case to be in. So he's in on his list as a lock. Okay, next one, sort of similar, I guess. Draymond Green. He only got 1 defensive player of the year to his credit, which is a little wild. 7 all-defensive nods, 2 all-NBA nods, 4 NBA titles. He's got 2 gold medals. He's a 4-time All-Star. Draymond is he in for sure.
You said he's only got 1 DPOY, but didn't he finish with the most first place votes one season? And where does Grish? Where's Grish?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'll have to call him.
He's a lock.
He's a lock.
Absolutely. The championships, the defense, an incredibly powerful and impactful player on those championship teams for the Warriors. Can't see why he wouldn't get in. The numbers, he doesn't need big numbers. His impact is significant, and he's got the defensive stuff there. So lock him in.
Okay. Tass?
I think he gets into the podcast wing before he gets into the Hall of Fame. He's leading a great podcast. He said his podcast is work. He's dedicated to it. But he also gets into the basketball portion. 7-time all defense. It's very impressive. Regardless of the stats, he's got the narrative, the persona, the story behind his defense as well. And that's where I think Rudy Gobert lacks in comparison to a Ben Wallace. I see people joking around here. Is Marcus Camby in the Hall of Fame? Haha. Green has what Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo have. Like, they have the story around their defense. I think that's where Rudy Gobert lacks a little bit, but that's why Day, the Dancing Bear, Dre, as his nicknames are on Basketball Reference, will get in.
Okay. I 100% agree. He's a lock at this point. He could not play a single second from here on out, and he would be a lock. It is wild, like, when you get into some of these guys with the under 10 points per game career scoring average. He's at 8.7. I mean, again, Rodman was 7.3, but if you are elite on the other end and it turns into championships, again, like Rodman, and you play a pivotal role in that, then you're a lock. Draymond Green, he's a lock, and 90% of the stream team says he is too. I'm a little shocked by that. I thought that might be a little bit lower. But,
also, people don't like him. I think that affects the stream team voting.
But they respect him.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. I don't think people respect Rudy Gobert.
No, I don't think so either.
Right
It's the Jazz thing. It's just the Jazz. People just don't like...
Oh, you don't like jazz?
No,
music?
no, I love jazz.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
A
friend of mine was in a jazz band. He's fantastic. Yeah. Was it down at the old, what's the one, the jazz festival in Toronto there on the...
There's one in Montreal, I know.
Yeah, I know, but where was it?
The beaches, Lakeshore?
Yeah.
What's his name? Or her name?
Josh. No, Josh, yeah.
Just straight Josh.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Josh and the
They were
Jazzers.
awesome. Josh and the Jazzers.
Jazz and
So what
Josh.
are you doing when the Jazz is going?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know how to dance the jazz. I don't know if you even have to dance or if you just have to just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, he was... incredible.
Okay. Shout out to Josh. All right, Draymond in. Blake Griffin.
Wow.
You want to make an Amari Stoudemire comparison. There you go. He might be Amari 2.0. 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. He has scored less than 15,000 points, and his career is winding down here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, can he get on a roster and pull out a chip somewhere? I guess it's in play, but you go first, Tass. Blake Griffin. Is he a lock, maybe, or not?
Well, the 2010s wouldn't be the same without Blake Griffin. That's for sure. But, the 2000s wouldn't have been the same without Amari Stoudemire. He's in, like, the cultural Hall of Fame, but with all the dunks he had on guys. But he's not going to get in because, you can see now in his 30s, without the athleticism, he can't score the same way. He needs space. It is really like Amari Stoudemire. So he's not getting the counting stats. He's going to end, even though he had some really, really good years, he's going to end with less points than Amari, most likely. So, like 14,000, so many individual accolades, All-NBA and All-Star, but not a long career, and the numbers are dwindling. He could definitely help as a backup big somewhere. There are teams that need energy off the bench. He's showing he's willing to dive and be like the grunt man, but... I hate to leave him out because, we've talked about him a freaking ton over the course of this show.
Yeah.
And he didn't get there with the Clippers teams. They just didn't do it. They didn't get to a conference finals with Blake.
They just need to have, like, his dunks on Mozgov and whoever else he posterized, like...
Kendrick.
On Kendrick, loop
Yeah.
at the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's his best chance of getting in. Because I don't even think you can pick maybe. I see people voting maybe in the poll. It's like... Ain't nothing changing really.
No.
I guess outside of a championship that he has a big game 5 in a second half to turn the tide in a 2-2 series. Maybe, but to me it's either you're convinced Blake Griffin has done enough that he's in, or he's a nah. And I have him as a nah. What do you, Leigh?
Yeah, I do too, actually, because against the Rockets that season, he was good in the playoffs himself, but they no James Harden, and they lose that series. The OKC Thunder as well, the season prior to that. When they beat the Spurs, when Tass was the only one to pick him, maybe Blake would be like Giannis and mention how Tass motivated him. That was the moment where it's like, okay, he could be that guy who was a difference maker. But instead, he's only played, I think it's 67 playoff games, which is very few. It felt like he played more. It just felt like that with those Clippers years there. But unfortunately, no, I don't think he does get in. He was certainly impactful. He burst onto scene, the number 1 pick. He missed his first year, but then it was like dunking on everybody.
Wasn't he like All-NBA in his first
possibly,
season?
Possibly. But yeah, so look, good 5 All-NBA, really good 6 All-Star, but he's going to fall way short of 20,000 points, which that surprised me when I was looking that up this morning. I thought he's probably only like 2,500 short.
No,
he's only
not even 15,000.
No. So that's going to hurt him, and just the injuries have really significantly impacted his career. He was good in that first season in Detroit.
That was cool. People saying that in the stream team. That was like a nice little.
He did that.
It's sort of almost like what DeRozan DeRozan just did for the Bulls, right?
Yep.
Like this, like, whoa, he's the older guy still got it here.
And I like the fact that he did become more than a dunker. Like, he improved his shooting range. He became a bit of a three-point shooter there.
Better passer.
Yeah, for sure. When he was playmaker Blake for those Clippers teams, he was awesome.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, very, very short in the end time there with the Clippers. And if he'd made a conference finals and made the Clippers maybe into the finals, he'd be in, I think. But unfortunately, no, I don't think he's done enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and for him to jump on and grab a ring with a good team, he's not going to be a big part of that team.
No, that's
he
what I
had
mean.
a chance. He had a chance last year with the Nets. He started every single one of their playoff games. They went into the second round. But then that team sort of fell apart.
He had that good 5-minute run where he scored, but then he got scored on at the other end, and he just was.
Oh, you're saying 2 seasons ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're both.
Yeah.
I mean, there's both. He had 2 years. I mean, I conflate both of them. I combine both of them as well. Where they went to they played the Bucks.
Yeah.
But then, the 2021 season. They lost that 7-game series to the Bucks in the second round. That could have been them. He could have gone if Harden or Kyrie are healthy. They could have gone to the finals the year that the Bucks won it. That's the one I'm referring to. He started every one of those games.
Okay, Blake. Right now we're saying is he's a nah for the Hall of Fame. James Harden, 10-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 3-time scoring champ, 1 MVP, and he was on the top 75 anniversary team. Lock.
Yes.
Yes.
Harden is the only player to win 6th Man of the Year, MVP, and a scoring title. Rob Peterson wrote in his Athletic Graph. Just
Did
a
he
weird,
win most improved
weird
as well?
threesome. No, I don't believe so. I don't think Harden got an MIP.
Maybe I'm thinking of just
an odd one.
there. Yeah.
He is, by the way, Harden is one good scoring season from passing Barkley, Iverson, Ray Allen, and Patrick Ewing on the NBA's all-time points list.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. 4 legends right there. Crazy.
He is getting in easily, lock at him, but the playoff success is certainly the biggest knock on his career, or lack of playoff success and lack of showing up in the playoffs. That's what's really going to hurt him. He has a reputation, of course, being fantastic in the game 1 of a series and then just petering out quickly. One of the most significant ones was against the Spurs, in fact, where it destroyed San Antonio in game 1, 2017, I think it was now, and then it ended with Manu blocking him on that last shot there. So that's the biggest knock on James Harden, that come playoff time he's gone missing. They had a real chance. If he wins that champion, or if he knocks out the Golden State Warriors in 2018 when they're up 3-2, Chris Paul blows his hamstring, that changes the narrative on James Harden completely. If Chris Paul stays healthy, I think they do beat the Warriors, and I think they beat the Cavs too. We'll never know, but that, if people do want to sort of hold something against him, they'll say not good enough in the playoffs.
I mean, it's Tracy McGrady's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right? Some
Oh,
similarities
yeah.
in like incredible numbers, incredible accolades.
Well, Harden's doing it for
scoring
longer.
titles.
Like,
no, I know what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
then the knock against McGrady is playoff performance and success,
Yeah.
and there's some of that with James Harden too.
yeah, he's in.
But there's done. Okay, let's move on then. You just got him.
Yeah.
All right. Al Horford, you guys brought up his name earlier. 5-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. That's it. Over a decade ago, Al Horford made the 2010-11 All-NBA teams. But man, Mr. Consistent here.
Yeah.
He's averaged over 10 points per game in all 15 seasons in the league. And he's got these, Rob said in his article, he's got 2 titles at Florida, if that helps. So if you're including the college game, but what do you think, Leigh?
It does help his case for the official ballot. For me, no. He's like LaMarcus Aldridge, very solid guy you want in your locker room.
Yeah.
Very good defensive player, underrated defensive player. But just, you always felt he's never a number 2. He's a number 3.
Yeah. Like, even the year he makes All-NBA, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the entire list of players. It's like, was Al Horford ever one of in any season, like, a top 25 guy? Like,
Maybe
one?
Yeah. But that's the thing about him. You know exactly what you're getting out of him.
Yeah.
But not enough to be like, with him on our team, he's taken us to the championship this year. So love him, respect him. 2007 draft, number 3 pick, still playing. And he'll be. I mean, he was actually maybe Boston's second best player.
Would he be in the maybe category if he had picked up a title there with the Celtics last year?
Oh, the way he played,
I'm sure it would have helped.
Yeah. 6 threes in game 1. Remember that?
Yeah,
6
threes.
So you say nah.
The Hall of Very maybe. No, he's in the Hall of Very good.
Yeah.
With LaMarcus Aldridge. If we don't put LaMarcus Aldridge in, you can't put Al Horford in.
Right.
It's difficult. Listen, we build the wing. The Hall of Very good. Less flashy. A standard brick I guess, linoleum floor, and they're in.
Just a simple room. Just 12 by 12 room. You get like a tiny little photo of yourself. Because we got to put a lot of people in the Hall of Very Good.
Well, there's a ton.
There's
a ton.
Yeah.
What do
You guys want to build the Hall of Very Good? I sort of do. This is actually a brilliant idea.
That's what these construction guys are actually here doing.
It's on the other
outside.
side of the Classic Factory. We can start selling tickets. People come in. They can see a live recording. This is next level thinking here.
That's smart. Yeah. It's like a shed. They could build a shed.
A shed.
Just a solid shed.
Structure.
Gets the crap done you need to get done.
All right.
That's what Al Horford is.
That's where Al Horford's going?
Yeah.
He will drink chocolate milk in respect of, in honor of Al Horford. That's what he drinks. He doesn't drink alcohol. He drinks chocolate milk to get the job done. Jared Weiss with that article in The Athletic. Great article.
Trey says the Hall of Handsome. People saying the Hall of Hunks. Yes. Got those beautiful eyes. So 57% saying nah on Al Horford. 30% saying maybe. People love Al Horford. They're giving them respect of a maybe there. Basically 14% saying lock, which is a little surprising. We are saying no. Sorry, Al. Dwight Howard, guys. 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 5 first-team selections, if you care. Won a chip in 2020 with the Lakers.
Oh, that's right.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year, just like Gobert. One of the best rebounders and blocks guys of his generation. One of the best at his position for that generation. Finished top 5 in MVP voting 4 different times. That's something, man, to me.
Yes.
He finished runner-up one year, I believe, too, to Derrick Rose.
To Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose year. Yeah.
People say that, but it was like, it's true.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose had 113 first-place votes, and Dwight had less than LeBron had first-place votes.
Did he? Yeah.
He had 3 to LeBron's 4. I just think that's really funny.
Yeah.
But he was second in terms of the votes. Lock, Leigh?
Yes, absolutely. Another one where you don't have to love Dwight, bit of a clown. But those for, 8 seasons there, he was absolutely just a beast. And the 2009 finals, a little disappointed that the Magic didn't win more than one game there. I thought he was incredible. Because, and Stan Van Gundy said, very few players impacted so many possessions at both ends of the floor as Dwight did for a couple of years there. So he was great, and he does get the championship, but not a real Dwight championship, more a coattails riding one there.
Sure.
He probably you just would have liked maybe even a touch more out of it, but I think of his career in those peak years there, because they blew it against the Celtics when they had home court advantage in 2010. That was the year where they dropped those first 2 games. I think they were down 3-0 and came back to make it a 6-game series there. So a bit frustrating, his career, but he's got the accolades, he's got the stats, and he's a lock.
Trey says he'll be the first Hall of Famer to use a fart machine as this induction into the Hall.
Yeah. Like just the sounds of farts? Is that what a fart machine is?
He'll either fart, or maybe he'll use a tape recorder,
Alexa
straight up whoopee
fart.
cushion. Oh yeah, when they always get whoever does like the induction to you have to have somebody you said in the Hall of Fame, but then they always sit down on a little chair. Dwight will slip a whoopee cushion under there for whoever is inducting him.
And look, people change over there as well. You can sort of be liked and then hated, and then people love you again. A little bit like Chris Bosh, and so people will love that. They go, he brought some humour to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. He's 500 points away from 20,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in play, though his career's winding down. And he's already 11th in all-time rebounds. So the stats are there. He does have a ring. He's got all these individual All-NBA and All-Star selections. And the 3 Defensive Player of the Years. Lock test.
No question. He was on top of the league for several years. It is fun to go back and watch that 2009 finals if you're in that type of mood. The Courtney Lee miss, if he makes the layup, that's different. Dwight gets so pissed that Hito doesn't pass him the ball on an opportunity to end the game. It went south. If he had one more guard play, if Jameer Nelson was even healthy that offseason, that would have been different. It's unfortunate Stan Van Gundy's not in the Hall of Fame, because it would have been great to see Stan Van present Dwight. Stan Van sipping a Diet Pepsi, relive that moment while he presents Dwight. That would be amazing.
That's a good call.
I think they're both they're both good enough to do it too. They would pull it off. They'd be comfortable doing that. They wouldn't be so pissed
for the larfs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Dwight's in.
I wonder who presents him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would decline.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing, maybe?
Patrick,
Well, they work together a lot.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's true.
Bench.
Yeah, I forgot about
Does he have a good relationship?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
let us know the street team. Who's gonna present Dwight Howard? Andre Iguodala, 4-time champ. He's got that 14-15 Finals MVP. Made 2 All-Defensive teams, just 1 All-Star game back when he was with Philly.
Yeah.
And he's top 20 in career steals.
Wow,
Thanks.
top 20
That's
career
Rob
steals.
Peterson with that stat for me.
Yeah, you need to dig for Iguodala's case because he shouldn't get in. I love him,
Yeah.
but the Finals MVP was a mistake. It was a mistake. It's Steph's. Steph was the best player on that team. It was a mistake.
Okay.
So that's his best accolade. I love the guy. He said he'd offer us a job when we got fired. That's very nice of him. The case isn't there. He is a perfect role complementary player. If
Right.
you want to go this 1-2-3 thing on a team that wins a championship, what's Andre Iguodala? He could peak at number 3, maybe, but he's never really been a guy who could take anyone off the dribble. Never been able to get a bucket himself. Like he was nearly a 20-point game guy with the Sixers,
yeah.
but it's kind of hard to put him in. I think he's a perfect role guy. He's got some Ori characteristics, but yeah, he's a glue guy. If there's a glue wing, then he's in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's no all NBA selections. That's going to be very difficult. You're basically saying never one season you were considered by the media at least to be a top 15 player. And I was surprised he only has 2 all defensive teams. Like, I think it's interesting if he has like a weird 8 or 9 of them, but it's not even close. So I got him as a nah.
His impact was better than his numbers.
Right.
I think he's been really important for those Warriors championship teams by getting the Finals MVP. But that's still not quite enough to get in.
Okay.
If he gets in the Fantasy Hall of Fame, because he was a monster fantasy player there for a few years in Philadelphia, because he would get the rebounds, the assists, the steals, the blocks, things like that. I had him a couple of times for sure. And consistent as well. He played a ton of games early on in his career. 5 of his first 6 seasons, he played all 82 games. So longevity and durability and all those things. But doesn't quite have enough, much better numbers on teams that weren't successful. And then when he goes to play in Golden State, has a huge impact on that team, but the numbers drop off significantly. So I wonder if he does get in, though. I know. 4 championships, and the Finals
there's
MVP.
not a lot of people with a Finals MVP that are not in the Hall. There's a handful. Yeah. There's a handful, and a lot of them are eventually going in. Parker, Dirk. I think there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
But
so not quite for me, but wouldn't be surprised if he does get in.
Yeah, I guess people will make the Ginobili case. It's not exactly comparable, but they won championships with him coming off the bench.
Yeah.
He could have accumulated more stats as a starter, but he went to the perfect spot for him.
Good point. He does feel like he won't be obviously first ballot Hall of Famer, but you could see a world where it's his last chance or something, and there's a swell of support for what he did in terms of team success.
And look, he could pick up another title or 2 as well.
I know.
He could.
But then it's like
he was in 6 in a row, wasn't he? Because he was with Miami in the bubble.
He's been in more finals than the Currys and Curry and Clay, because he got the Heat one as well. Yeah, and he did play in this last finals.
Yeah.
It's a question mark whether he'll play next season. But
But then you get in. Robert Horry has a million championships,
7,
and it's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, no.
Fisher's got a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay, we'll say no on Iguodala. And the people generally agree. 54% saying
that's
nah.
tight.
Kyrie Irving, 7-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, got the chip in 16 with LeBron and the Cavs. He's averaged over 27 points per game over the last 3 seasons. One problem, he's only played in 103 games. He's only played 611 games, which is a little weird. Kyrie, though. Where's Kyrie fall? In the lock, maybe, or not?
He's a lock for me because of the championship.
Lock?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hit the biggest shot in Cleveland franchise history. Does one shot get you in? No, but coming back from 3-1 down, he was huge in those finals.
So if Kyrie tomorrow, and it's Kyrie, so it's in play, says, I'm done with this basketball. I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
He's a lock.
He won a gold medal too, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Or a world championship anyway, whatever it is.
We're not putting him in because of a world championship.
No, but that one championship, and we've talked about it, that's easily LeBron's. That's his Mount Rushmore championship, or whatever you want to call it. That's the one that carries so much weight.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kyrie hit that shot on the road in Game 7 against the 73-9 Warriors, that to me get you in. And look, he's going to get the scoring. Who knows exactly where his career is going to end? And he's only at 14,000 points.
Yeah, I got him a maybe. I got him right now a maybe. Because I would like to see a couple more amazing Kyrie seasons where he'd actually play and maybe have more success in a playoff run or a championship run.
Yeah, I mean, he's been to the finals, 4 times, I guess, there with Cleveland. So he's in. And again, that one shot is just going to vault him above so many guys because it was massive in terms of NBA history. Massive.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Lock from Leigh. I'm a maybe. I guess you're the swing vote here, Tess. Unless you're saying nah, and then I don't know what we do. JD has to decide.
It's either you're a Kyrie backer or you're not. Are you a Kyrie lover or not? I'm riding with him. I know all of his peers respect his game. We just talked about Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala was vocal saying he wasn't voted one of the top 75 players of all time, and he was pissed about that because of how great his skill set is. While we sit back here and we got to talk about the off-court issues with Kyrie, I think the on-court is good enough. If Anthony Davis is in, I compare Kyrie's lack of playing to Anthony Davis, and even some of his lack of playoff success to Anthony Davis as well. LeBron came around and really, righted things there. And, he hasn't played a lot, but he still has his 30s to go if he wants to play basketball.
Well, that's the ultimate, that's why he's a maybe to me. It's I don't know. If he's to stop right now or another year, it's I don't know. I guess you could still argue it's got some accolades. He's got the chip. He's got the iconic moments. He does have the respect of his peers. I'm convinced, how people always have their NBA conspiracies about the frozen envelope with the Knicks and Jordan, what was he doing, stepping away for the game and all that. The one I truly believe is I think Kyrie was selected to the top 75 anniversary team, and then what was going on with his opinions about getting the shot and COVID and not playing, that he was removed by the NBA from the actual selection. That's a conspiracy I am on board with, and I 100% believe that he was supposed to be in the top 75 and then was removed. And then maybe to distract us, they said, just put Lillard and Anthony Davis in there. We'll make it 76. But
so they're like, do we put Kyrie in and cap it at 75, or do we have to have the tiebreaker and have 2 of them and make it 76?
Yeah, they're like, Jesus, which one do we want to live with? Yeah. Anyway, I still think he's a maybe. But you guys have him as lock, so he's in.
He's got enough of the story for me. It is wild. He's only averaged 55 games a season throughout his 11-year career.
Yeah, in the first 3, he didn't miss one. He played 82 in all 3 of his first seasons. Yeah, and he was injured when he was at.
Did he play 7 games in college or something?
Yeah. So 50, that's way fewer than Anthony Davis even per season.
He's a 46% maybe according to the people voting, 34% lock, and then 20% nah. So people are all over the board on that.
Sorry, I got that wrong.
No,
I got that wrong. I was looking at Damian Lillard because he's coming up here, and I saw the 82, and I'm like, whoa.
Okay, so I think the most he's ever played is 70. 75
he played in 2014-15.
Okay, that's a good season for Kyrie.
He probably likes the number 75. That's why he's...
Okay, let's make this one very quick because LeBron James is an 18-time All-Star and an 18-time All-NBA, and he's turning 38 December 30th.
And he will be the all-time leading scorer very soon. So.
Yes, that's right. Barring injury, he has 37,062 career points. Kareem has 38,387. So you've already picked the date. I forget when you said it was going to happen.
Yeah.
You called it a long time ago. You did it a year or so ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, he will likely pass Kareem for the all-time most points scored in the NBA. A record Kareem has had for 38 seasons, by the way. I saw Rob point that out. That's more than half the existence of the NBA. So this is pretty insane.
And 1 3-pointer for Kareem's career.
That's a good point.
He made 1.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
an
So LeBron.
underappreciated fellow. Yeah,
There you go.
LeBron is.
Don't even put the poll up, Trey.
And he's going to have
Okay, there.
the most seasons played in NBA history when all is said and done. He'll
Yeah.
tie Vince Carter, but it's kind of his record. It's LeBron's record. 22 seasons. The end of his contract here with the Lakers brings him to 22 seasons.
So he's waiting.
Even that,
waiting
he's
for
got
his
the
sons to
longevity
get in.
record.
Yep.
Yeah, a boss move would be just sit out until his son comes in, and then score the basket that takes him over the top.
Off an assist from his son.
Oh, it's assist! I just had him on the basketball floor.
Well,
but yeah.
I mean, I wonder if Bronny Jr.'s best skill is going to be his passing.
All right, Brian, you're in. You're locked. Okay. The whole reason why Rob Peterson did his article for the second year in a row was this player, Jokic, the Joker, because he didn't have him on his list last year, and Rob corrected that, especially after the back-to-back MVPs. Rob writing, Jokic, one of 13 players in NBA history to win consecutive MVPs, and one of 15 players to win at least 2 in his career. 4-time All-NBA selection, 4-time All-Star. Probably a lot of people maybe kicking him that he wasn't on the top 75 anniversary team after picking up another MVP there. A Lockley?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the 2 MVPs lock you in there. If you don't have those, and if his career was to end tomorrow, maybe there's a case. But, I mean, he's just been you talk about a unicorn. He is a unicorn, like the way that he plays. He dribbles, he passes, he shoots. He's incredible as a talent and as an athlete and as a basketball player, because he doesn't look like a super... physical specimen.
He's not Dwight body shape.
Absolutely, no.
Yeah.
But his impact on the game and what he can do, watching him, I mean, he may at some point in his career average a triple-double as a big man throughout for a season. He's kind of been, in that vicinity. We know he can pass. We know he gets the rebounds and points there quite easily. I mean, he was only 1.7 assists away from averaging a triple-double 2 seasons ago in his first MVP season. So, I mean, we're sort of waiting now for, and he's been a little bit unlucky because he's had injuries to teammates in the playoffs. We are waiting for a Dirk-like run, to get at least to the finals and to overcome some of those teams, which I feel confident it will happen here at some point. But he's 26. He's still got plenty of his career to go. Can't see why you would not put him in even today.
Mm-hmm.
Lock it in.
Okay. No complaints.
Nah.
No, for sure. For sure.
Listen, Rob Peterson at the Athletics shouldn't be kicking himself because he didn't put him in last year. He just won another MVP.
Yeah. Jokic has only played 40 less regular season games than Kawhi Leonard.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right?
Kawhi doesn't play basketball.
No, I know. Well, let's get to Kawhi. Okay, Jokic is a lock. Kawhi, one of 3 players to win Finals MVP.
That is crazy.
With 2 different teams.
49, I'm seeing.
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry, less than 50.
Yeah.
5-time All-Star for Kawhi. Made 5 All-NBA teams. He was selected to the top 75 team. One of the greatest defenders, at least on the wing, perimeter, that most people agree with that. Got 2 Defensive Player of the Years to back that up in 15 and 16. So, Leigh, is he a lock?
Yes, he is. Okay. The 2 Finals MVPs lock him in, if nothing else. Fantastic two-way player. He's another one who could end up with more DPOYs as well. If he locks in, he's kind of eased up on the defense, I think, in the last couple of years. Obviously, he missed the entirety of last season there. Been to the finals, of course, with the Spurs. Lost 1 championship, won one Finals MVP. But the Raptors one is the LeBron Cleveland one, because it was like the Raptors. He didn't even want to go to the Raptors. He goes there, and then they beat the Warriors. Now, injuries played a factor, of course, they always do. But Kawhi Leonard goes to Toronto for 1 season, wins a championship, wins Finals MVP, and says, "That's it, I'm done." Great player. Got tons of accolades, individually, team-wise. The 75th anniversary, the defense. He is walking into the Hall of Fame tomorrow if he chooses to.
If he chooses to.
He may not show up.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's true. The huge cherry on top would be winning at home, like LeBron, in Los Angeles for him. His home would be amazing, because 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different teams. That's the stuff. Because he doesn't have the counting stats, because, as you said, which blew my mind, that he's only played 49 more regular season games than Nikola Jokic. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but he has a ton of the awards and a ton of the individual accolades, and he has Toronto's heart. 7-time All Defense. I mean, he can go up and down. He's done a lot in his career, even though It's a weird career.
It's a weird career.
Yeah.
It is. Trey says in the stream team, would he be a lock for the shortest Hall of Fame speech ever?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Thanks.
Just walks off. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, Kawhi's in. Damian Lillard. Now he makes the top 75 there. I think he, in my gut says he was likely one of the last names added to the top 75 or top 76. But he was in there. He's 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA. He won Rookie of the Year. He's averaged 25, 7, and 4 over a 10-year career. That always surprises me. But is he a lock? Does he need a deep run or a ring to cement his status?
I mean,
what do you think?
He's ended 2 playoff series with bombs.
Yeah.
But that's probably his most significant playoff success, really.
Well, that's not bad if you've got that.
No, I know. But the problem is those are early on in the playoffs, not conference finals to get you into the championship. I mean, very good, consistent player. One of those guys I do feels like he is a legit star. He's just never quite had that super number 2 beside him. Yes, he's. I don't know why you would keep him out. He's got the All-Star, he's got the All-NBA, he's on the 75th team. No great defense, stats there to help. He certainly played for Team USA. I'm trying to think how many times he represented. So, yes, he's a lock.
Okay. Tess, where do you have him?
Yes, I agree. I put him in. Especially if he's a one-team guy, he's going to get the Reggie Miller vote eventually.
Right, yeah, good one.
It's probably true.
But
Reggie made the finals, though.
Yeah. And Lillard's going to have more individual accolades than Reg.
Yeah.
More All-Stars. I mean, Reggie was playing with Jordan at the time. But 6 All-NBA, 6-time All-Star, nothing to scoff at. Very, very solid. He is 32. He does say his best years are ahead of him after this abdomen injury where he took his time to get back. So if he gets a couple more years, an 8-time All-Star, it's going to be hard to reject him.
Yeah, okay. So we have him ultimately as a lock. His awards on his basketball reference page are just the most random collection. I just want to read them to you. He won, like I said, 2012-13 Rookie of the Year. He won the 18-19 J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award. He was the 1920 Player of the Seeding Games. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
He got MVP of that, and it's on Basketball Reference. Wow. He was the 2021 Teammate of the Year, and then, as I said, 21-22 NBA 75th Anniversary Team. That's 5 incredibly random accolades there on his Basketball Reference page. But averaging 25 points per game over a 10-year career, and he's got probably a couple seasons left. Man, he gets a ring. That's like a no-brainer, but I have him as a lock. And let's see what the people think on that one. That one could be torn a bit. That one's very tight. Oh, my God. 46% saying lock, 46% saying maybe. So Lillard. Tough one. All right, let's keep moving here. Kevin Love got the title, got a most improved, 5-time All-Star, made 2 All-NBA squads, both second teams. Averaged 17 and 11 in his career. Kevin Love, lock, maybe not.
No, I don't think so. He was on the way there in Minnesota just purely on the numbers. He was a beast.
Sure.
But he decided he wanted to go and win a championship, and he did. But he was 3rd best player on that team. Good veteran player. But the numbers, while they've still been fairly solid over these last few years here, have not been anywhere near sort of impactful or dramatic on those Cleveland teams. I'm still surprised he's only ever played for 2 teams. It feels like he's always in trade rumors, and he would have bounced around to about 5 or 6 teams by now. So what he did in his early days there in Minnesota, that he had the 30-30 game. He averaged 20 and sort of 15 for a good couple of years there, mate. That's when he sort of banked a couple of All-Star appearances. He got, of course, a couple more with Cleveland, but I don't think he's done enough throughout his career. He's going to fall well short of 20,000 points. No, he's not in.
It's unfortunate, but I wouldn't put him in either. He doesn't have the counting stats, which is surprising after he had like a 30-30 game in Minnesota. You'd think, he just sucked up every point and every rebound then. But, he has missed some time. Then he went to Cleveland, and he didn't really, stamp his legacy in Cleveland, even though they won a championship. Like, you can call him the 3rd best player, but he got played off the floor. He wasn't starting in the finals at times. He didn't play every single finals minute that he could. They went with Richard Jefferson instead at times. I'm knocking the guy for having a really good career, but it's not a Hall of Fame career. Now, if he stays with one team and just sucks up 20,000 points, Yeah, maybe he's got a better case, but
he went and got that chip.
He did, he did, and he did, and he's done a lot for players and being vocal about mental health. He's a good dude and a good advocate for a lot of things. But when it comes down to the resume, I say nay. Okay, he's not making it. Swish, though, in the stream team says, Love should be in the Hall of Fame for surviving all the trade rumors. His name came up in a lot of trade rumors over the years. Didn't get traded for Klay Thompson.
That's right. Kyle Lowry, play the homer card. Yeah, 6-time All-Star. Kyle Lowry made 1 All-NBA team, won a chip. He ranks 81st all-time in win shares. This guy top 100 all-time when you're getting into that geeky stat. But counting stats relatively low.
Yeah.
It took him a while to start his, the successful part of his NBA career. Bounce around a couple teams there, become an established player is what I'm saying. So what do you think on Lowry, though?
The chip gives him a good chance, I think, because he was huge for the Raptors. Second best player on that team. Again, doing it on the road against the Warriors, all those things I think factor into it. And is he the greatest Raptor of all time? I mean, yes, but I think Vince is still higher in terms of Raptors legends because of what Vince did. Don't think he's got enough to get in. If the Raptors were to win another championship, then he's in. For sure.
But is he going to play on that team?
Well, no, but okay, obviously not now, but I mean if
No, I like that. If the Raptors win a championship with or without Lowry, he's in. I like that.
He gets his number retired, maybe even a statue, but don't think he's got enough of an individual case to get himself in the hall here.
Game 1 of the 2019 finals gets him in. I'm sorry, Game 1, what am I talking about? I mean Game 6.
Yeah.
Game 6.
First quarter.
First quarter, where he just took over. Kawhi took a back seat, and Lowry was their second best player. And I like how you call him the second best player because he was the second best player on a championship team, despite Pascal Siakam having that opening huge game to start that series and scored more than Lowry in that series. But I think Lowry was their second best player. He's got the Chauncey Billups thing going on where it took him a while, as you said, and they found a beautiful gem there in Houston with a first-round pick. The Raptors did trade a first-round pick for him, and wow, he was bouncing around, butting heads with coaches, and then it worked out with Dwayne Casey. He's got the resume. I understand why you wouldn't want him in because of he's not your typical All-Star or typical Hall of Famer, but he's the guy you want on your team, right?
Dad Sass says, all seriousness, I love Lowry. I'm not going to use logic or thought. Luck. I love that.
Good one.
I was surprised, and Rob brought this up in his article. Lowry, according to Basketball Reference's Hall of Fame probability, 85.7, which is 12th among active players in that category. I did not think it was going to be that high. That ranks 89th all time, which has Billups just behind him. And I've always said, there is no bigger, someone cheering more for Billups to get into the Hall of Fame, because I think if Billups gets in, I think Kyle Lowry eventually gets in. But until that happens, it probably won't. But that's just nuts, because every Hall eligible player ahead of Lowry is in to the Hall of Fame, except Larry Faust. Big Faust heads out there. Yeah. So I think I have him. I literally am going to say maybe because it's going to depend on other guys getting in. Like, there's no way he's a first-team All-NBA or a Hall of Famer. But, God, he is a winner. And like I said, like ranking that high in win shares also surprised me. Won a lot of games, and his career started slow with Memphis and Houston. Yeah, big chunk of it here.
What happens here with Miami? Pat Riley called him fat, essentially.
Yeah, he's coming in shape.
He should be, right? And that was a number 1 seed last year. The East is so interesting with Milwaukee, Boston. The Heat are sort of an afterthought right now, and Philly there as well. Those 4 should be fighting it out. But if Jimmy Butler has a legit number 2B player, whatever you want to call Kyle Lowry, in shape and ready to go, they should be a number 1 seed again.
Yeah, they could be.
Because they'll be fighting, unlike, the Bucks. Anyway.
Good poll results here. 25% say lock for Lowry, 38% maybe, 36% nah. So it's across the board. Chris Paul, 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA player, 9 All-Defensive teams, despite being, not even 6 feet tall, probably. He's listed as 6 feet, probably not that. He was voted top 75. He's a lock.
Yep.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
No problem?
Yeah, no problem.
Led the league in steals 6 times.
Finished runner-up MVP in 2008.
There you go. Rondo, 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-Defensive player, sniffed one All-NBA team in 11-12. Has 2 titles, one with the Celtics, one with the Lakers. 2 legendary franchises.
The only player to ever do that, right?
Is that right?
A title with the Celtics and the Lakers.
Yeah.
He's a 3-time assist champ. He's got a steals, title to his name. What do you think? Career averages of 9.8 points per game, 7.9 assists per game, and 4.5 rebounds. Can playoff Rondo get in? Maybe just playoff Rondo goes in.
Yeah, no, he can't get in. Okay. I mean, look, the common denominator with Rondo, when he was on good teams, he tried hard. When he was on bad teams, he quit. He quit on the Celtics. He quit on the Mavs. He quit on the Kings. He quit on Team USA. Those stats you say about leading the league in assists, I mean, the ultimate, selfishly unselfish guy who just padded his stats when he did that.
This guy hates Rondo.
But I'm saying that as well. When he was on good teams, he was, I'm going to try hard. After the big 3 left, he's like, I don't play defense anymore. He goes to the Mavs. He couldn't even fit in for the Mavs. They gave up a first-round pick to get him. So he's a quitter. I don't really think that playoff Rondo, who had some success on the big 3 team, is enough to get in there. And what did you say? 9.8 points per game and 7 assists.
10, 8 and 4.5 career averages.
So he was lucky to get a few of those All-Star nods. He was a replacement player at one point when Josh Smith should have got in.
This guy never forgets. If you were a replacement player for the All-Star, never forgets.
There's no question I have a personal bias against him. I don't like him. I don't think he's anywhere near the sort of the recognition he gets. I don't think it's deserved, because if he wasn't with Garnett, Rondo, and Pierce, Garnett, Allen, and Pierce, him by himself.
People are pointing out he was pretty exceptional in a lot of those playoff series, though, in games.
But again,
with 3 Hall of Famers,
exactly.
But he was great.
He was the 4th option, so no one's defense was like, you got to stop Rondo.
General.
Yeah, but no one's like, we got to shut down Rondo. You got to shut down Garnett. You got to shut down Pierce. Ray Allen's out there on the perimeter, so someone had to benefit, and he did by passing them the ball. So no, he doesn't get in at all.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he gets in. I don't think he has the resume. It's it comes up short. And I just want to correct myself slightly. Rondo won with the Celtics and the Lakers. He is the only one to win with the Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, but Clyde Lovelet won with Minneapolis, the actual state with lakes, when Minneapolis had the Lakers. But yeah, I don't think he makes it.
I will bring up this comment here in the stream team. I know we're running long. Sorry, JD, you got a flight to catch. But Truth Bearer says, Leigh, your point is silly because you could use the same argument against Draymond Green, being the 3rd, 4th best player out on the floor on an obviously a championship team.
There's no way Rondo had the same impact that Draymond Green's had on his Warriors.
That's why I wanted to bring it up to
Absolutely, not even a debate. Draymond Green defensively was significantly impactful on those teams. Rondo, again, I respect the fact that he did have some big games. There's no doubt about it. But because of those other 3 guys on his team, Draymond made his own presence felt because of himself.
Right.
Whereas, Rondo coming down, passing the ball, and he started the break. He was a good rebounder in his early days there, like that. But there is Rondo.
Is KG on record saying we would have never won a title without Rondo? I don't know.
I don't know.
I know he was high on him.
Yeah, I bet that team.
But I mean, my point is, Curry has definitely gone on record and said, we're not winning these things without Draymond Green and what he does. Yeah. Just interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Draymond Green is their defense.
Yeah.
He was that half of the floor. So I think it makes sense why Curry would say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you ever seen Rondo as well, by the way, offensively take over a game and start scoring points? Now, Draymond doesn't do that, but Draymond's impact on the offensive end was still significant. And that's the thing. Rondo benefited because he had all those other players around him, whereas Draymond impacted those other guys in a more definitive way.
Okay, well, 43% say nah, Rondo's not making the Hall. 33% maybe. 24% lock. Okay. From one Celtics legend to another, Jason Tatum. He's only played 5 seasons. He's already played in 13 playoff series.
Yeah.
Okay. He's been to 3 All-Star games, made 2 All-NBA teams. He won the inaugural Eastern Conference Finals MVP award. I don't know if we're going to start counting these. We didn't bring it up for Curry. But Jason Tatum. Too soon? Is he a maybe? He's on the right trajectory, like a Booker? Task you got to start?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the right person to compare him to is Luka in a way. Extremely early in his career, but he's going to get there very, very soon. A lot of playoff success. Now, Luka's had, been the number 1 on his team even shorter amount of time. But yeah, the fact that he's only played 5 freaking seasons, he's 24. It's a little early. But I think pretty soon we'll be saying yes. A couple of years from now we'll be saying he's a lock.
So you're leaning towards lock?
Yeah, 5 years in. If his career ended now, no.
Okay.
Not with what he's got.
Right.
But yeah, damn right, he's going to be it.
Okay. Leigh?
Yeah, today, no, but I think he does get in there because he's already played, as you mentioned, the playoffs. He's already played almost a season of playoff games through 74 games. And he's put up pretty good numbers in those as well, 23 points a game. He had that huge banger on LeBron, of course, rookie Jason Tatum there. So he may end up with the most playoff games ever. You know who still holds the record?
Fisher?
Yeah. Yeah, so 259, I think it is there for Fisher. So Tatum is clearly on his way. There's no doubt he's a MVP candidate. He has performed in the playoffs. He's going to get there if he stays healthy.
There's a reason why Ben Golliver and Andrew Sharp called Tatum 12-time Tatum.
Yeah.
Right from the jump. 12-time Tatum meaning he's going to make 12 All-Star games or 12 All-NBA selections. So he's sort of on his way to that moniker. I mean, I'm leaning towards, I'm saying maybe right now. I can't say, if it was over. You made the case, if Luka never played another game, you might even be like, damn, he still might be in the Hall of Fame, especially when you include the international play.
Yeah.
But, you're not going to say that for Tatum.
No.
So, but are you guys going, I just need to know so I can put it on the list. Both locks, though? You feel so confident in...
Sure, lock me in.
No, I'm not locking him in.
Okay, you're
now.
maybe. Okay,
Not
we got 2 maybes.
Next year.
Okay, I think that's right. 63% say maybe. So we're all basically on the same page with Tatum. I mean, yeah, but 1 or 2 more deep runs in the postseason, maybe a chip. I mean, it'd be interesting if he had won the title this year over the Warriors. Would we say
2-1 up? Should have been 3-1 up.
Yeah. Okay, he's maybe for now. Klay Thompson, another Warriors player. This is our 4th Warriors player. When are we getting to Looney?
Yeah. 4-time champ.
Okay, Klay, 2-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, 4 championships with the Warriors. Robbed of 2 consecutive seasons with the knee injury and then the Achilles injury. He would have been easily over 15,000 points had he played in those 2 seasons, but he's not. Basketball Reference has his probability at 70%. So lock maybe or not for Klay. Lock.
Yeah. He's getting in. These championships get him in there. He's had those incredible moments, a 37-point quarter, the 60-point game with 9 dribbles or whatever it was.
Does have iconic
yeah, he does.
Playoff moments and records.
Just one of those games, along with Steph, they've changed the game the way the 3-pointer is, and Klay's been a huge part of that. He's going to be a one-team guy, most likely. Perhaps maybe at the end of his career he bounces to a team or 2, but Klay's going to have the weight of the finals appearances and the championships. I mean, that's enough to get you in when no one's expecting Klay to go out there and change his game and become a better passer or anything he's out there because he's just such a threat from 3-point range every time he's on the court. And he's performed in the playoffs. So
he was a great defensive player.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I know that's fallen off a little bit.
That's underrated as well. I think people sort of overlook that. But, Klay is a lock.
Okay.
I agree. He's a lock. If he can come back from what he came back from, then he's going to play another 5 years easily, and he's going to get probably to that 20,000 point mark, I do believe. And yes,
and he'll be second all time in 3-pointers made, and
Game 6 Klay is a thing,
stuff like that.
Yeah, and a key guy on 4 championship teams. I don't think he'll show up for his Hall of Fame speech. I think he'll be on the boat. He'll say, maybe he'll
do it on IG Live.
Yeah.
He'll send in a video.
Yeah.
The captain will send it in, but even though he doesn't have some of the cumulative stats because of those injuries, Klay is, the perfect shooting guard. I didn't think it was going to happen when his career early on, but he became such a really, really good defensive player. A perfect complement to Steph Curry beside him.
Nearly 80% of the people in the stream team voting saying he's a lock. Klay's in. I'm with you guys. And of a lot of these guys on the list, I would not be shocked at all if Klay just played until he's 42,
easily,
just bombing away out there.
Yeah.
Because he seems to just be like an NBA sicko or a basketball sicko and just keep playing, keep getting paid. But we'll see. 2 more. We're almost done. Russell Westbrook. Okay. A lock.
Yes.
I know he's a polarizing player, but he's a 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA, won an MVP. He's on the top 75. He's the only player to average a triple-double in 4 separate seasons.
It was 5 in the end, wasn't it?
Was it 5?
I
don't
think
know.
it was, but yeah.
Well, the first season he did it, he led the league in scoring.
Yeah.
The other times he did it, he led the league in assists. So, Russ, lock him in.
You betcha. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely lock him in. I hope he has a few more years here to lengthen out his career, you know. Add on to those stats because he's 33. He's going to be 34 when the season gets going, basically in November. So can he pad the stats a little bit? He could if he hangs out.
He'll give it a go if he's up there.
If he's allowed to. Yeah, I just hope he has a little bit of a different career arc. The mellow thing that we've talked about.
Right,
but he's in obviously today, tomorrow, the next day. Yeah.
But as Trey's brought up many times, it's more likely he's going the Iverson route.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of a career where I ain't changing, and everyone's like, well then sorry, it's not going to work here anymore for you.
Yeah.
And less likely takes on a mellow role, a Vince Carter role.
For sure.
Changes, whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, but you got him in his lock. Anyway.
Yeah, and you're right. 4 times he averaged a triple-double. It was that one there in Washington, but the 9-time all NBA stuff, I mean...
That's a lot.
Yeah, he was a beast. It was just unfortunate, that Russ has had the last couple of seasons where things haven't gone quite as well. And those early Thunder teams, I mean, they made the finals and they were leading the Heat in the finals at one point there. So could have been,
It's a crazy what if.
Yeah,
if
for sure.
That young Thunder team with your 3 MVPs there go on to get that chip. Right?
Yep.
Final one, Trae Young. I put him on this list because, we got Luka. At least getting consideration and getting locked from some of us. So Trae Young, 2-time All-Star, made the All-NBA team in 21-22. He's only played 4 seasons, just like Luka, of course. Career averages, though, they're basically Lillard-like, 25, 9, and 4. He led the league in total points and total assists last year. But where do you put him? Lock, maybe no.
Well, not today. He's not a lock, no. Maybe and likely. Had some really good playoff moments as well so far in his career. Some huge moments, in fact. But too early, far too early to say he's a lock. So no today.
He's a maybe.
Yeah, maybe, sure.
Agreed. He's not there quite yet. It is fun to have this debate with Luka for his entire career because it's gone in Trae's favor, then it's gone in Luka's favor.
Yeah.
Like when Trae was bowing in Madison Square Garden, the title was Trae's. Look at us now. Who won this trade now? And then Luka goes on to a conference finals this year while Trae is at home with his Hawks team. But yeah,
was it Cam Reddish they got that extra draft pick? Because remember the Mavs had to throw in an extra draft pick. I think it was Cam Reddish. Maybe not.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. The number 10 pick, ended up, and it's weird. They traded that back to the Knicks and.
For Kevin Knox, who's on the Pistons. So
yeah, and Cam Reddish wants out potentially. I believed in Cam, but anyways, I do believe Trae Young will have a Hall of Fame career when all is said and done.
Right. Okay. For now, though, he's not in. So that's it. I gave you, I believe, 33 names. I said.
Wow.
We have 19 of them. I think if I've counted this up correctly, 19 is locks. Okay. Giannis, Carmelo Anthony, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, James Harden, Dwight Howard, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, Lillard, CP3, Klay Thompson, and Russell Westbrook. Feel decent about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You don't want to make any changes? No.
Nah.
Great. Because we have no time left.
Yeah.
This is one of the longer No Dunks episodes.
This would be long if we started at normal time.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be very, very long. Wow. Our man JD's got a flight to catch.
Oh, man.
I mean, his house is still a construction zone, so we will start wrapping it up here. Thanks to everybody voting away in the polls. Shout out to TK, too, for helping us out with that. That's a lot of fun. It's always a nice little button to put on each one to see what the people think, whether they agree, disagree. Sound off in the YouTube comment sections. Let us know on Twitter, @NoDunksInc, your thoughts on some of the people we maybe said were Hall of Fame locks or ones that didn't make the cut. Maybe some names that we didn't even address. What about this guy?
What about this guy?
Yeah, we're not going to do it right now, but you play What About This Guy in the comment section. That's it for us. Probably for this week, though, we'll have some fun little content. You said Euro basketball, obviously, getting into the semifinals here, and WNBA going on. Trey doing a great job with those little shorts, those little 1-minute recaps. Looks like the Aces are going to win this thing.
2-0 up.
Yeah.
Becky Hammond.
No team has ever come back down 2-0 there, I believe, in the WNBA finals. So the Aces probably going to win that. But we'll be back some point later this week. Maybe some Top Shot Hot Boys as well. And if not, you'll see us next week. And we are getting real close to a bunch of our NBA sort of like season preview type stuff. Over-unders, talking awards, going through teams. The sicko stuff, if we're being honest. All right? Guys, great to see you. Shout out to everybody out there joining us on the stream team. Till next time, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for caring. Thanks for joining us. And remember, we got to go. I no time for a quote. We really got to go. JD's got a plane to catch. Good luck.
Hey, we will allow you to listen to this podcast at 2x speed. Okay, this is the only No Dunks one you're allowed to listen to at 2x speed. Embrace the week and weekend and all that stuff, people. We'll see you when we see you.